Good evening.
Good
It
evening.
is 6:30 on Tuesday, March 10th. We're going to call the CRA board meeting to order. Tonight we'll begin the meeting with an invocation from board member Mac McCrae, and then I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd please rise.
Let us bow to the most holy and eternal God. Lord, we bow this afternoon just to tell you thank you for all of your acts of kindness. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for the things that we even take for granted. Thank you for life, health, and strength. Thank you for letting us see another day that we will never see again. As we reason tonight, whether we agree or disagree, let us walk out with love for all of our mankind. In your name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have roll call, please.
Chair Taylor?
Here.
Vice Chair Costello?
Here.
Mr. Buchanan?
Here.
Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Here.
Mr. Hay?
Here.
Mr. McCray?
Here.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. There's nothing under legal, so we'll go to agenda approval. Under agenda approval, I would like to move one item up under item F under old business. It's consideration of bond refunding, and our bond attorney is here, and he is scheduled for surgery early in the morning, so I want to move him up a little bit to get him out of here. So I'd like to move him under, right after the consent agenda, move item up there before the pulled items. So if that's okay with everybody.
I'd like to pull CNF.
CNF on consent?
Yes, please.
CNF. So, let's see. Okay, anything else? Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Motion to approve is amended.
I
Second.
have a motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor? All opposed?
Aye.
Show the motion is unanimous. That takes us to informational items and disclosures by board members and CRA staff. Executive Director, have anything?
No, I'm fine, thank you. Oh, I
Okay.
do want to say, we did, Chief Katz and Development Director Nancy Byrne and I met with the Coalition of Clergy last Thursday night to go over some of their desires from the community. They held a town hall at our request, basically to get some of the community's ideas, what they want to see on the MLK corridor. And so we met with them Thursday, and it was a really nice meeting. Just want to let you know that.
Thank you. Board Member Hay?
I did have an opportunity to attend the K-9 at Boynton Beach High School, and that competition is always exciting and outstanding. I encourage all of you who can the next time go out and watch the K-9 in action. I also like to announce this coming Thursday, a couple days from now, there will be a meeting held at St. John Missionary Baptist Church. School board member Dr. Deborah Robertson is having sort of a town hall meeting to get input from the South County, so it's not just for Boynton Beach, input for the new superintendent, that we're in the process of getting a new superintendent to replace Gent. So I encourage all of you who will and can come to St. John Baptist Church on Thursday at 7 p.m. to give your input. This is our time. She's scheduled at least 3 meetings, one on the north end, one on the southern end, which is us, and she's going to have one in the Glaze area. So I encourage everybody to come and give her the input on the type of superintendent that we want here for Palm Beach County. Thank you.
What time is that?
7 p.m.
7 p.m.? Thank
Yeah.
you. Board Member Fitzpatrick?
I don't believe I've met with anybody on anything on the agenda in the last month.
Board Member Costello?
Thank you. I met with Attorney Michael Weiner the other day here at City Hall, and we'll discuss some zoning issues. Also, I'd just like to say, Mr. Mayor, today is a happy day, if you will, in the sense that us as CRA board members and city commissioners, we sit up here week after week and we pass ordinances and bills and all that good stuff that goes, and see very little fruit for our labor sometimes. And in today's headlines, Boynton Village finally happening. Over 1,100 homes, townhouses, single-family homes going up in the Renaissance area up there. A great thing. And why this makes me happy is that, I was an advocate of the dog park very early in my career here,
Right.
and through staff, which did a great job of negotiating, we're going to have our first Boynton Beach dog park, so I'm very happy about that. Also, things that maybe the public are aware of, not aware of, we have the grand opening ribbon cutting for our marina, Harbor Master building down at the marina. Another great project put together by staff and this board here, Mr. Mayor. Another groundbreaking ceremony for the Family Dollar Store and
We don't
Emmett.
have that under the announcements.
I know, I'm just getting so excited, I'm sorry. But all that good stuff, along with the Casa Del Mar project that we just recently voted on, and along with 500 Ocean Ave, which is going to be coming out of the ground this spring. So all good things happening here in Boynton Beach. We all should be excited about that. I think we've turned a corner here in our great city.
Board Member Merker?
I'd just like to say that today I met with Attorney Michael Weiner regarding, what I said, the wrong name again? Weiner, whatever. Dealing with the zoning issue also. Okay.
Board Member McCray?
Thank you, sir. First of all, I went to the chamber, meet the new members at Lowe's. I met with the coalition of ministers with Vivian Brooks and staff in regards to the MLK corridor. I attended the Galaxy Elementary School Carnival. I did the K-9 competition. I arrived there at 4 o'clock. I think I stayed about an hour and a half until the weather got to be freezing. The dogs wasn't shaking, but I was shaking, so I said I got to go home. Okay, the grand opening ceremony, I attended that Sunday for Johnson Memorial Chapel. Today I went to Signature Storage. They had a ribbon cutting. I received a phone call from Mr. Andre Robinson in regards to a short sale. Right behind that, like yesterday, the gentleman who's supposed to purchase the property, he also called me. So those are my announcements and disclosures. Thank you.
Board Member Buchanan?
I met with architect Jim Williams, who's the architect on the Ocean Breeze East project. That was actually before the last meeting, but I still met with him out.
Thank you. I had a phone call today with the attorney for Mr. Robinson on the short sale. Had a brief conversation with her over the phone. I also attended the K-9 opening until it rained on me, and then I left. Let's see what else. Oh, I met with Michael Weiner too, but that's an item that's coming up on the City Commission agenda, not on the CRA one. So that's all.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to say to Mr. Harry, I forget his last name sometime, but anyway, he's president of Inca. Anyway, in regards to AmeriGas, Mr. Harry Wordsworth. I know it had a worth in it. Okay, in regards to the AmeriGas that's out on Federal Highway, Mrs. Brooks, we did draft another letter. I signed it this afternoon, sir, so it will be off again. I'm letting you know that I'm staying on top of things just like you. I want to make you look good like you make me look good. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I may, this particular month ends the term for me on the CRA board. I would like, and I pray and hope that the commissioners will reappoint me for another term. But in case they don't, I would like to say that it's been a pleasure, and I will continue to serve. Whether I'm sitting here or out there, I will be here always to support the city, CRA, and all the citizens of this great city of Boynton Beach. Thank you.
Thank you. I assume you put in an application?
I did.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this is your last one. If it is, I want to thank you. You've done an outstanding job. I really appreciate all the input you've given us. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I'm going to clap, not that it's your last, but
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
we'll
you.
go to announcements and awards. I think we have somebody from the CRA to give us that information.
Mr. Mayor, the gentleman I met with Mrs. Brooks this morning, and she told me that he was like part-time. Now he is full-time, so probably she needs to introduce him like to the rest of the city.
That'll be on the agenda tonight.
Well, he's
Make
finna
him-
talk now. Is
hasn't
that,
done that
is that the
yet.
guy there?
Good evening.
Yeah.
Christopher Burdick. I'm the Special Events Coordinator for the CRA.
Yeah.
I'm just here to give you some information about our events that are going on. A recap of the Movies in the Park event that happened on March 6th. We had that occurred at Ocean Avenue Amphitheater. The featured movie was the newly released Penguins of Madagascar. It was very successful. We had about 150 people show up, which was a good turnout, especially since it had been a repeat from the month prior.
And it didn't rain.
It didn't rain, exactly. It's a free event that takes place from 7 to 9 p.m. Guests were encouraged to bring their beach chairs and blankets, and quite a few of them did. Marketing Business Development provides us with a trailer of selected CRA. We weren't able to show that this week, so we're going to show it next week. And then we have a giveaway at the end of the movie, which is a big draw as well, and it provides promotion for our local businesses. The CRA will continue to encourage local businesses to participate. The next movie in the park is scheduled for Friday, April 3rd at 7 p.m., and the final movie of the season is May 1st.
What's the movie on April?
Those have not been selected yet.
Pardon?
They have not been selected yet,
Okay.
but we will certainly promote those as soon as we do make that
I
selection.
seen that movie. They have not been selected yet. I seen that. That's a good one. Yeah.
And then Music on the Rocks, Happy Hour Friday. On Friday, February 20th, Boynton Beach CRA presented the Happy Hour Friday Music on the Rocks concert series featuring reggae band Sweet Justice, and I want to thank Commissioner Hall and his wife for coming out to enjoy that with us. It was very successful as well. We had a great crowd. This free event was scheduled to take place at the Ocean Avenue Amphitheater from 6 to 9.
That Commissioner Hall is that Hay?
Sorry, Hayes. I'm a little nervous my first time.
We got new names. Well, slow down. We're friends.
Yes. And this was actually, February was the first month that we moved the event from Thursday to Friday, and I think that helped increase our attendance. And we're going to continue on Fridays for the rest of the season. The next Happy Hour Friday concert is scheduled for Friday, March 20th, and we do have a band scheduled. It's Samantha Russell Band. They play country, rock, and pop. Food and drinks are always available for purchase from our local vendors. The remaining Happy Hour Friday concert dates are April 17th, and we do look like we have a band scheduled called Solid Brass, and it's an 8-piece band with brass. It sounds really good. And then the last one, the last event for that month is May 15th, and it's featuring Making Faces. And there's always free parking available on site, and we try not to have pets there. And then our big event coming up this Friday is Boynton Beach St. Patrick's Day celebration. It's called Blarney Bash. On March 13th, the Boynton Beach CRA will present Boynton Beach Blarney Bash in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. The event begins at 4 p.m. along Ocean Avenue between 1st Street and Seacrest Boulevard and concludes at 10 p.m. We have some great bands coming, The Crack, Mighty Quinn, and U2 by UV, and that's a very popular band. We had them at Pirate Fest. They were quite a draw. We also have a smaller band that's playing called Fire in the Kitchen. We have local retail vendors lined up along Ocean Avenue. Food and drink will be available for purchase, including green beer. I think Amy shared that in the last meeting, got a big laugh. I guess that's always popular at St. Patrick's Day. We're having a Best Green Attire contest, and we're still trying to figure out what those prizes are going to be. And there's going to be kids' activities, balloon artists, face painting, glitter tattoos, and free parking will always be available. And then, as we've already heard, Boynton Beach Harbor Marina Fuel and Dock Harbor Master Building ribbon cutting ceremony is coming up. The CRA will host a Boynton Beach Harbor Marina ribbon cutting ceremony to celebrate the completion of Phase 2 Fuel Dock and Harbor Master Building. The rescheduled date is Wednesday, March 18th at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The ceremony will be held at 735 Costa Loma Boulevard, with guests arriving between 6 and 6:30. The ribbon cutting ceremony will begin promptly at 6:30 p.m. A Janet Hall dedication of the Heritage Trail sign at 7:45 p.m., with Janet Hall's family attending. Food and drink will be available for invited guests. Parking is available in the parking garage. The Family Dollar groundbreaking celebration is coming up as well. The CRA will host a groundbreaking ceremony to celebrate Family Dollar development in the heart of Boynton neighborhood. The date is Thursday, March 26th at 9 a.m. and it ends at 11 a.m. The ceremony will be held on the corner of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Seacrest Boulevard. And then another upcoming event is called Catch a Reservation in Boynton Beach. It's a concierge VIP event. It's on Wednesday, April 8th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The purpose of the event is to introduce the Concierge Association of Palm Beach County to the area with efforts to promote downtown Boynton Beach as a tourist destination. The attendance is estimated at 40 to 50 people, consisting of local concierges and hotel associates. The tour will highlight the Boynton Harbor Marina and showcase the local restaurants and live music scene with a trolley ride throughout the district and with many stops to sample what the businesses have to offer. A presentation will be shared with the guests giving an overview of the marina amenities and local hotspots within downtown Boynton Beach, drawing more tourism to the area. Building a personal relationship with the Palm Beach County Concierge Association to promote the marina and downtown businesses. Every major hotel in Palm Beach County has a Boynton Harbor Marina brochure, and restaurant brochures available for their hotel guests. And that's it from me.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
thank you. I'd just like to piggyback on the groundbreaking ceremony for the Family Dollar. Okay, I have been getting phone calls, both positive and negative, in regards to this. And you can't satisfy and you cannot please everybody. And by me being able to work in Fort Lauderdale, on the 6th Trunk Corridor in Fort Lauderdale, they have a Family Dollar store. Also, they have a Save-A-Lot, which we're also trying to put on the opposite corner. And I'm just saying, as far as if it works in Fort Lauderdale, I don't see why it cannot work here in Boynton. That's all I need to say. See you all at the groundbreaking. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, CRA attorney, do you need a separate motion to approve the consent agenda? Or is it okay because we approved the agenda, or do you need would you like a separate motion?
Yes, please.
Yeah, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of items C and F?
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Show the motion is unanimous. Okay, we're going to go to that item F that I moved up. Consideration of resolution number 15-01, bond refunding series 2005B and authorizing the issuance of a series 2015 in principal amount of $5 million, over $5 million.
Harris, Finance Director. I'm very pleased this item is before the board this evening. This is the last piece of our old bond series that needed to be refinanced at a lower interest rate. And our financial advisor sent out RFPs in February, and we had 7 good responses to that RFP, with interest rates ranging from 3.3% to 4.1%. The lowest interest rate came in from BB&T at 3.3%, and they also had the best terms. So the item before you tonight is to approve that bond refinancing refunding. And some details on that refinancing is that the bond will be structured as a bank loan, as the previous bond refunding in 2012 was, that the city will guarantee the repayment as they have for us in the past. And this item, by the way, would come before the City Commission on March 17th for review and approval. The interest rate is 3.3 as opposed to the 5.7 on the refunded bonds, which is a very good deal for us. The maturity is the same. The bonds will mature in 2026. The net present value savings is $624,000, and the savings over the life of the remaining bond, the next 11 years, is $1.8 million, or $160,000 in interest rate savings each year. Very good deal for us. So our debt service will go from $2.3 million a year for all of our commitments to $2.1 million a year in the next fiscal year. And just to give you some background, together with the 2012 refunding that we did a couple years ago, we'll be saving the public $4.4 million just by reducing the interest rates on these outstanding bonds. Really good. It's very, very good for us. The resolution before you asks for a few things to happen. The first is to authorize the CRA to issue the bond series 2015 in the principal amount of $5,005,000. The second is to approve the form and the terms of the series 2015 bond to BB&T. award the sale of the Series 2015 bond to BB&T, appoint a paying agent for the bond, which would be the finance director of the CRA, approve an escrow deposit agreement where the funds would be paid into and then paid out of, and appoint U.S. Bank National Association as the escrow agent. So what if the board approves of this deal? I need your approval of the resolution, and then it would move forward to the City Commission on March 17th.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Resolution 15-01. Motion is second. Any discussion or questions?
Question.
Yes.
I met with Vivian today, and that was $827,500. That's going towards the principal?
Correct.
Okay,
That's our reserve on the portion, the old bond. And we don't need a reserve with BB&T on the new financing, so that goes into the deal to pay down the debt.
My parents told me when you do something like that, it's called good news. I just wanted you to say it. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Susan, outstanding work. Great.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Thank you so much. Good job.
Thank you.
My pocket feels it.
Okay, at this point, we'll go back to item C that was pulled from consent. Board Member Merker, monthly purchase orders.
Yeah, I'm not, this is sort of a question that I have. We approved $22,000 for Kimberly Horn for street parking feasibility. The only question I have about this is that we still have that lawsuit pending dealing with the high school. So is this an appropriate expenditure at this time?
This actually was probably written incorrectly here, but it's actually for a parking feasibility analysis.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Town Square, actually.
I think it has to do with the
We were
American
we were
Bank
thinking at
property.
some point, Board, that we would wrap it into the Town Square at some point in the project, but it's actually not included in the Town Square at this time.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve
So
C?
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So the motion unanimous. Item F, approval of PRH Boynton Beach LLC's performance audit for the year ending December 31st, 2014 for the Casa Costa project. Board Member Merker, you pull that.
Yeah. If my numbers are right and if I read right, it's $479,408 that's to be paid to Costa Costa. My question is, they're obligated in the retail end of it to fill space. Have they signed contracts, signed leases, showing in good standing that they should receive this money?
The DIFA agreement that we have with them obligates them out of the 19,000 square feet to lease 10% of that at below market value. They have given us 2 leases that total 5,000, over 5,700 square feet that's below market value. So they are exceeding what they have agreed to. They have a lease for a CrossFit, and they have a lease for a steakhouse restaurant, correct?
But they have signed leases. They have, in other words, they in good faith have done what is required.
Yes.
For them to get the money.
Yes, they have to provide us an audit from a CPA firm attesting to this. It can't just be like they're saying it, writing on letterhead. So, yes.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? A motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Show the motion unanimous. Takes us to information only. Any question on the public comment log? Your backup. Item B, a business development campaign, Catch a Reservation in Boynton Beach. That's the concierge VIP event. We talked about that. He just told us about that. Any questions there? Seeing none. We'll go to public comments. Anybody in the public wish to address the board on items not on the agenda may do so at this time. We ask you to come forward, give your name and address for the record, and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Harry Woodworth. Live at 685 Northeast 15th Place. I'm the president of Inc. for this year. I just wanted to comment on some of the stuff. I mean, we're all getting pretty excited about what's going on in Boynton. I would just ask the CRA and the Commission not to lose sight of some of the smaller stuff. talking to some of the tenants along your building. In fact, I had a meeting today with the Peninsula folks. 80% of the people that don't rent, they do post audits, refer to the Federal Highway Corridor. That is what I'm hearing from everybody, including the real estate agents. And some of the stuff on the Federal Highway Corridor is low-hanging fruit. Took a couple of phone calls to get those FP&L polls pulled out. 36 of them are gone. The remaining 16 will be gone when the AT&T guys get done at the end of May. The sidewalks, DOT will be there tomorrow, starting to look at the sidewalks. That took one phone call. Don't know why I had to make it. Some of this stuff is just simple, and it's just not getting done, and I would really ask that we try to do a little harder on that. There are 2 garbage cans tied in front of City Hall, just like the ones I'm not allowed to put out before the day before. There's one sitting over on Federal. That stuff matters. It's simple, and it doesn't cost any money. If you're telling all the concierges of these fancy hotels to come down here and take a look around, guys, they're going to do it, and they're not going to like what they see, and it is not complicated. The pavers that were put in, the DOT tells me the city signed up to maintain those. They have not been maintained since they were installed. FP&L will come back and fix the sidewalks, but some of this other stuff is our responsibility. It's not expensive, it's not complicated, it doesn't take a lot of time, and if you're going to invite all these fancy people down here to look at Boynton Beach, let's clean it up a little bit. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board on items not on the agenda?
Linda Cross, 625 Casaloma Boulevard, Boynton Beach. Good evening. As I said, my name's Linda Cross, and I have submitted my application to be appointed to the CRA board. I just wanted to give, I called several of you, I actually called everyone, I only heard from one person last week. I just wanted to give a little bit of why I would like to be on the CRA board and let you know a little bit about my background. I'm a retired partner from KPMG. KPMG is one of the big 4 accounting firms, and I have 30 years experience in public accounting, so I think I can bring this finance background to the board as a board member. I served on many boards. Most boards that I serve on, I usually get reelected to the board because of the finance experience. And as far as some of the work I've done as a tax partner at KPMG, you might recognize some of my clients like the London School of Economics, National Geographic, the Smithsonian, the American Red Cross. All these, I sign their tax returns. My name is on there for public disclosure, so you can see that. And I have, in both my professional and my personal life, really enjoyed and am committed to serving the community. I am currently serving on a board at, I live at Marina Village, which Marina Village is very prominently displayed on the CRA website. I'm happy to say it looks great. Love looking at it. I think it's been with the new harbor, the Boynton Harbor building down there. It is really, really a nice job. So it's important to me as a citizen in the CRA district and as a resident at Marina Village that I provide some expertise and some help to the CRA board. Some of the reasons I also would like to serve on the board, first, I think Boynton Beach is quite the gem here in South Florida. I looked for probably 10 years before moving here. I moved here 5 years ago. I looked for 10 years where to retire and went all up and down the South Florida, and Boynton Beach was my selection. It really is a gem here, and it has so much potential. And as I hear and read in the newspaper all the things that are going on in the city, it's really, really spectacular. Second, finances are typically a very large basis for many decisions, as well as negotiating contracts, something I've been working in for over 35 years. And as the CRA board fulfills its mission in redeveloping our downtown district and revitalizing our neighborhoods, I think my expertise could really be helpful. Also, I think the board needs diversity of thought. That's one of the things that I bring to the board is some diversity of thought. I also think you have to have commitment to the mission, and being a resident within the CRA district, I do have that commitment to our mission. And also, I think consensus building is important. Boards operate, the most important work of a board is not at the meeting. The most important work isn't here. The most important work is what you do outside the meeting. Not so much attending events, that's great, but the hard work that is involved in doing on the board is what happens outside the board meetings. And I believe that my expertise and my experience will really help bring some diversity and some consensus building to the board, and I would really appreciate it if you would review my application and let me know if there's anyone or any way that I could potentially meet with you, or you could even interview. Most boards I've ever been on, they usually interview potential candidates, so it would be wonderful if you went through that process. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Something, please. It's interesting. The mindset of the citizens of most cities today, though this is not an elected position, are for some form of term limits. This woman, Linda Cross, last year when the opening was there, she presented herself. Her credentials you can't match. Her intelligence you can't match. If Boynton Beach is a city of change moving forward, then this woman here, plus the other new candidates, have to truly be considered. They have the expertise, the background that any city would want. And it's a matter of whether this city has an open mind to bring in new people, or is it going to be like the political game that's played between Democrats and Republicans all the time, is to keep what you have. So it's up to us up here to decide, do we want new blood, do we want change, and do we want brilliance that this woman displays? Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I
Yes,
have
sorry, quick question.
just a point of information. She brought up a good point about the applications. Is there any, I didn't see it, are there any applications in the backup?
Three. I think there's 3 applications so far.
They're not in our backup because it wouldn't. It doesn't come to the
Okay.
CRA. Comes to the
Right.
commission.
Well, I mean, okay, I understand that, but I'm just saying we're going to be appointing those the same day, and we only get those on Friday, so this would have been giving us an extra week to look at them. Okay.
Yes. Commissioner McCray.
Give it to him.
Thank you.
Linda, give it to him.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd just like to say that Mrs. Cross did call me. This is going to be another disclosure. I stopped Mrs. Cross during her comments. I just said I need to hear it only one time, and that's at the CRA meeting. I'm just saying, it's nice that people want to call you and give you their personal spiel, but, I'm one of those, I believe in listen to a person one time and go from there. That's why I stopped you. Thank you.
Chairman, for
Yes.
the record, Ms. Cross never called me.
Good evening,
Good evening.
members. My name is Stephen Grant, live on Northeast 3rd Avenue in the heart of Boynton Beach. I also filed an application. I did it online, so I don't know if it went through or not. And so I don't know. I got the screenshot that it went through, but I don't know if you only got 3, I don't know if it's on there.
We'll have to check that out. I don't know. I'll have to get with the
Would I-
clerk, and we'll have to
tomorrow.
check in there and see. Did you
Okay.
get that name? Did you get the name? We'll check that out.
Okay.
Make sure we got you.
And like Mrs. Cross here, before me, I'm an attorney in Boynton Beach. My office is a little bit out of the CRA, west of Congress, but as a former chairman of the Financial Advisory Committee, I was intricate in trying to help out Boynton Beach. And I bring a different aspect of the youth aspect that
Yeah, wait a minute.
that we're, the millennials. Like Mr. Woodworth here before me, I've been trying to rollerblade on the sidewalks, and it's very difficult. I enjoy going through the heart of Boynton Beach. It's a wonderful neighborhood, except for all the trash that's there. And so I'm looking forward to Family Dollar moving in and picking up the trash and making Martin Luther King a better place to be to walk on.
Thank you.
Thank you for submitting.
You're welcome.
Anybody else wish to address the board at this time? Seeing none, we'll close.
Mr. Chairman, can we, as a board, get all those applications in a form of an email so we have some time to look through them?
Resumes, you mean?
Yeah, I'm sure the city clerk has them. She'd be glad to give you copies in your mailbox.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on then to old business. The first item is on the table. Is there a motion removed from the table?
So moved.
Motion second, all in favor? Aye. Show the motion unanimous. The first item is consideration of development agreement terms with H.H. Boynton LLC for Ocean Breeze East.
Thank you, Chair. This item is before you. We have been in negotiation with HH or Hudson Holdings for this project for the heart of Boynton. Part of the property is CRA property, about 4.5 acres. And we met after the last meeting, we met with the developers on February 18th, discussing how we can close the development gap. We really haven't gotten around to getting from them what the development gap was. And but they were asking at the last meeting for our land for 500, paid at the end of 15 years, us to pay the streetscape, and a 15-year, 50% TIF agreement, which I think I basically recommended some of that, not all of it. So, although we never got to any decision point at the last meeting because the item was tabled, we sat down and I talked about if we could help ameliorate some of the city permits and the development permits, if that would help. And I came up with, because the development permits are very expensive, I'm not sure how familiar you are with that, but on this project, between the art fee, the permit fees, utility capacity fees, and the impact fees, these estimated fees are $1.9 million, and this is not a particularly expensive project. And I put that out to them and pay it out over 10 years. This would be a fixed payment rather than a DIFA type deal where we don't really know what the payment's going to be year to year, depending on what the property appraiser puts it on the books for. And so I didn't get an exact answer back, so they're going to be here tonight to present to you the change in the design of the project, which basically took the retail off the Seacrest frontage. That was the essence of the design change. So they're going to make a presentation to you tonight because many of you wanted that. And then they're going to talk to you a little bit about how do we address this development gap to make this project happen, which is a very worthy project in the community and will really make a huge difference on Seacrest. Between Boynton Beach and the C16, we are very close to closing most of the gaps on Seacrest of development, and this will go a long way to making that happen. Can you, Stephen, can you come up, please? Or Jim?
City Attorney, do we need to swear anybody in that's going to talk about this?
Yeah, no, this isn't a public hearing, so I don't
Okay.
believe that's necessary.
Okay, thank you.
I do have one question.
Yes, Woodrow.
As they're coming, do you have a ballpark figure of what the gap value is at this point in time?
That's 6.3 million here. I don't know if that's right.
And we've only made up 1.9 million?
Yep.
That's
a big
where
difference.
we are now. So stay tuned. I hope it gets better.
Since one of the board members made a comment, I'm definitely I'm concerned about the gap. I'm just saying, we could present all night, but when we got a gap this wide, and I don't see anything on. Did anybody else get anything on paper saying about what you all are going to present, like to help us with this gap? You all have any figures?
Well,
Sir,
let's see.
I'm
Let's
talking
see.
to
We'll
them.
talk to them. Let them address that first. Yeah, we were interested in about the gap. If you want to talk to that about that first.
Sure. Hi, I'm Michael Picar with Neighborhood Renaissance. Our offices are in West Palm Beach on 510 24th Street. The gap, I think, got a little bit larger than it really is because we might have been talking about different terms. The actual development gap is more around $4 million. The amount that is proposed on the agenda is equal to about $2 million, goes a very long way towards making it a feasible project. We think there's some other things that we can bring to the table we're a nonprofit developer providing affordable housing, is doing some grant writing and raising a little bit more money to help fill the gap. And the caveat is that some of the units will be subsidized with lower rent. I think that's great for the community. More people in the community will be able to afford those kind of rents. One thing that we proposed that was not acceptable was the land is one thing, and also we're providing all the street improvements around the perimeter of the project, and that's curb, sidewalk, landscaping, and street lighting. We'd like to keep that on the table and discuss that. We're going to pay for the land, but we'd like to get the public improvements somehow. We'll finance it and be reimbursed over time, or some kind of proposal. So we're very close to having no gap if we can discuss some of these things.
Before you even discuss, you know, I do District 2, but I'm just saying, you're saying about the perimeter, you want us to be responsible for everything that's around the perimeter. This is what I'm hearing. Sidewalks, etc.
We will build it, finance it through the project, but, you know, there's
And
interest.
we will reimburse?
We would like to get some help paying the interest and principal on it, yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm hearing different numbers.
Okay.
The last statement, I think I heard correctly, you're saying there is going to be no gap? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, well, we're saying there is the gap that we have between the development costs and where we are with Vivian. We're proposing that we'll close a gap ourselves privately. We'll finance, you know, through maybe some incentives and through our own private funding to get to the point where we can meet with an agreement.
So let me understand this. The major issue that we're concerned with is the gap. So I'm hearing that through negotiation, whichever way the two of you are working together, let alone with anyone else, you don't see a gap. So if I'm correct on my statement, then please define, since there's no gap, that's wonderful, great, let's move forward. But what's the question marks that are still there that we as a board have to be concerned with?
I think between Vivian has brought back to us, our real difference is the streetscape, is the improvement. And we can fund it, and we're willing to fund it, and have some sort of reimbursement over 5 or 10 years. And that's basically what we're proposing. And that's a difference, I think, between where Vivian is and where we finally are. And I just want to point out, again, you know, we're asking for a percentage of the project. It's about a $30 million project. That is probably slightly less than 500 Ocean, which is, I guess, our comparable.
It's a smaller project.
It's a smaller project. In percentage terms, we're asking for less. And, you know, we're in an area that it's unproven for comps and rentals. It's a little more risky. And we are doing this as a market rate, and we want to do it as a market rate project. So I just want you to take into consideration the fact that
let me just say one more thing, please.
I'm sorry.
I voted originally that I wanted you guys, your companies, to move forward. Obviously, there was a snag. We won't define that now. Okay. So the point is, I'm going by Vivian's judgment, which I think she's right, that we want you to move forward, but let's not play games. Pardon my French. You know, you guys are together or you're not together, and then let's get it going so we don't have to put it out for offer again.
Okay.
These are, just I want to point out, these are improvements in the public right-of-way. So they would be improving the public right-of-way. So I understand their consternation on that, but on the other hand, we did require it, and perhaps that was probably pulling the trigger too early in this neighborhood, requiring the developer to do it on our part. Maybe asking that was too much right now. With this type of development, maybe it was too soon. Maybe we shouldn't have asked for that.
Brooks, I want to stop you because you said in this neighborhood.
The market.
Okay.
As Mr. Michael pointed out, that we don't have the rents quite yet. We haven't developed enough to create the rental market that would return enough investment to say, okay, we'll pick up the 600 for the public right-of-way improvements. It has nothing to do with anything other than the dollars. That's all.
Well, let me just tell you that originally what I saw that we got last time, and the reason we tabled all this, was the first thing was they're going to sell us the land for we're going to give us $500,000 for the land. Then they turn around and want us to pay for the streetscape improvements with $600,000. So basically, we're giving the land away plus another $100,000 to do that. And they want a 50% TIF. I'm not for any of that. I would not agree to any of that. And right now he's telling me they'll finance the streetscape, but they want us to pay them back. So it's like they still want us to give us $600,000. I can't go along with any of that. And I'm not sure. I'm not hearing that they're okay with your proposal either about the instead of a TIF, we would do this $1 million, $1,968,000. And I don't hear them. They're sounding to me like they want a TIF, a percentage of the project.
Well, first of all, to answer, originally, I think our proposal was not to pay for land, and then it came back up later in our discussions, our negotiations, to pay for the land. At first, it was a zero cost for the land. So we did sort of move on that negotiating item.
Yeah,
and we are accepting of the
I know,
of the tip.
but you're paying for a strip of land next to the one we're giving you a lot more than what where you're giving us $500,000. We got the biggest piece of the land.
Yeah, that was in the pro forma, and it's really not. It's one entity with the same owner buying it from another entity with the same owner. So in essence, we're financing our purchase of the land. It really is not an economic benefit to either side. It's really a wash.
You're also eliminating all the retail on Seacrest, right? What are we going to do, put homes there?
That's correct, and that was one of the concessions to help us get to a little higher density. We're leaving the office, and there will be retail on the first floor of the office, but just trying to, we're struggling, and we did struggle with getting getting this has got to become a financeable for us. I don't want to start and put a project together and not getting through the financing terms. So we will have to put more equity into this than we normally would have done in a ground-up construction, even an apartment deal. But we're willing to do that, and that's our gap that we're financing, basically. And my name is Steve Michael, Hudson Holdings, 20 South Swinton, for the record.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to get some clarification here. I heard one number, like 6.1 million of the gap, and you stated 4. So that's a difference of 2 million. So what's the deal here?
We've made we're gonna pick up a couple. Well, you want to explain our
I think that initially the value of the land between the partners should not have been in the CRA pro forma. It's not your problem. The real issue is you got to build the project, and the rents are projected to be a lot less than, Boca, Del Rey, or even 500 Ocean. We don't have the same amenities. We're not close to the intercoastal. We don't have the views. It's more of a, that's what created the gap. You can only put in so much equity, and you can only get so much of a mortgage, and we're trying to close the difference.
Yeah. And we're trying. Part of that is we're allocating a cost to a piece of property that has income, it's producing income, and it's an internal allocation. It may not have been necessarily prudent for us to include that because it's an internal number, but we did, in full disclosure, to want you to know how we're structuring our partnership. But it's the same ownership in both partnerships. So, with the exception of bringing Neighborhood Renaissance into this new partnership, we have to have a structure for how we're taking the old partnership out. But it really isn't very relevant to the project. We're going to tear down an income producing property we do have a income, we have a loss involved in that, or we have a loss of economic benefit. The replacement of that is an internal.
I don't have a crystal ball or anything, and I don't mean to divert into your expertise, but, you know, I've done some reading, and I've looked at, you got something going on in Delray, something going on in Lake Worth, and, you know, you're doing pretty good out of state. I don't get a warm, fuzzy feeling like you're really serious about this little project.
Well, we are. I don't ever mean to, to make you feel that we're not serious. We don't want to start and stop a project. I want to get it done. We've never not completed a project. It's not that this project is any less important. This is in our home. We are doing many projects outside the state, but this is where we live. This is where our home is, and yeah, it's very important to me to get this project completed and for it to have an economic impact in the city. We just have to also make it economically viable. The fact that we do have many institutional lending sources, it helps our ability to get this done and to fund it and to finance it.
When I studied your package, I read up on it, and basically you got rid of the retail, but you kept the medical building. That's basically it.
If I could speak to that, Jim Williams, AW Architects. In the very first meeting that we had with Vivian, the discussion centered on, is this too much retail? Is it too spread out from the other retail that we're trying to create in the CRA? Maybe we'd be better off with a few more rooftops, supporting the transit ideas that are coming, the train stops. Could we increase the size of the medical building with ground floor retail and put more units there? And at the same time, address the concerns of the neighborhood, which told us in the first meeting at St. John's Church they wanted to see an elevator building. So we did all of that in one fell swoop. We added a 4-story building on Seacrest with elevator. We increased the size of the medical office building and added a capacity, I think it's about 3,200 square feet of retail on the ground floor, where before we had, 6,000 or 7,000 square feet of retail spread out along the Seacrest frontage. So everything we did after that meeting, I think, enhanced the project. It wasn't trying to make it less of a project. The 4-story building, maybe you've seen these drawings. It adds a little interest to the streetscape as well. It's not all cut off at 3 stories.
Let me tell you what I'm hearing here. I'm not comfortable about how this project is going to be financed. I hear what you're telling me you're going to try and close the gap through different processes. You mentioned try to get a grant. I mean, what if you don't get the grant? And we've not decided really. You're wanting us to help pay back for the streetscape and stuff like that. I think this needs to go back, and staff needs to sit back down and come to us with something that we can, say, okay, here's how this project is going to be financed. Here's how that gap's going to be closed. Here's what's going to happen if we approve streetscape or not. Who's going to pay for that? That's the kind of things I'd like to have in black and white. I don't want to move ahead with supposition. Is what I'm hearing tonight. McCray.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Board Member Merker said that we are concerned with the gap. I beg the difference. I'm not concerned only with the gap. I'm concerned about the project. You said when you met at St. John's, sir, that's nice, but we had charrettes all over the city of Boynton, for the heart of Boynton, and we stated the things that we wanted. We wanted retail in the area. And if you tell us that you don't want to give us like retail, I'm going to agree with the mayor. This needs to go back. I need to see something in black and white. I want to help you all make it a great project, but I want to see something in writing. I'm sorry. What you're telling me is kind of iffy.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you, you're not warm and fuzzy like the first time you came before us. And this project looks like nothing that you presented to the board in the first phase of it. Did you mention something about the rents are now going to be subsidized? You didn't say that?
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I thought you did say that.
That is something we met with some clergy last night, and they are concerned that the rents are going to be too high for a lot of the residents that would want to live here. It's something that Neighborhood Renaissance can accomplish. It's not going to be the entire project. You're maybe...
So it is going to be subsidized?
Out of 212 units, I would say
Will some apartments be subsidized, yes or no?
it'll be available, yes.
Thank you. Is it going to be a gated community?
No.
Okay, is that med building that you put up, that 4-story, could that ever be turned into a substance abuse clinic?
No, not that we know of.
I don't know that it's...
Not that you know
turned
of,
into
no,
by
it will
zoning?
never become one of those.
No, we have no. We have already a proposal from a tenant that we want. The reason why if we feel the medical facility would be medical building would be desirable is because it's proximity to the hospital, and we have talked to doctor groups that we thought we can definitely bring them in.
And I think that's- and
they're
I-
not treatment centers.
Right, and I find that very honorable, and I agree with that 110%. I'm just afraid that once this building goes up, it converts into where, they can make a quick buck. I would like something in writing that says, no, this will never be, such and such.
That's if you want to put that in writing. That's
Happy to.
Thank you.
Go to Commissioner Board Member Merker and then Board Member Fitzpatrick.
I'm still on your side because I think the premise of what you want to do is excellent. The thing that excites me the most is the medical building. I understand retail. Retail comes in and out, but a medical building does not. If you have in the neighborhood a medical building to take care of people in case of, God forbid, emergencies, or you have doctors, not just the people who are living there, makes this so important, but it's important because people from the area, from the city, can also go there. So to me, that's the standout right there. As far as substance abuse and so forth and so on, let's put it very simply. There's a law. And obviously, if someone comes in there with substance abuse, you take care of it. The issue of substance abuse, like what we're hearing and talking about sober homes, it's the law. It's not zoned for that. It's not meant to be. But obviously, there are emergencies that could happen. I agree with the mayor on one issue, is the fact of defining. I don't hear it as fuzzy. I hear it as so far an elongated fiction book coming to a conclusion where you need a chapter of nonfiction. In other words, the two companies, and the question I have is, the only partnerships are going to be you. There's not going to be a third partner, right?
no.
Okay, so it's a matter of the two of you coming to an agreement, dotting the I, crossing the T, and then going forward with the project you have. As far as I'm concerned, reducing the retail is not the major issue. The major issue is that in this community you have fine housing for the people, and to me, I'll repeat myself and then I'll shut up. If you have medical facilities that help an area, let alone the city, thank God there's such a development there. I'd rather have a medical building and no retail than have retail and not have medical in this area.
Fitzpatrick.
Well, this is, to me, basically a bait and switch. This is nowhere near what you presented initially when we first voted, and if had it been this project, it could have very easily gone to the competitor. And then when you came back, neighborhood Renaissance seemed to have been kicked to the curb, and your new partner was the competitor. And now they're back. I'm not following this at all. And if those 23 units on Northeast 6th Avenue are so valuable, well, then I say keep renting them out, because I think we should go back to just starting from scratch, because this is nowhere what we started with.
Okay.
And can I get some direction from the board? Because I know you want me to go back, but I really need, it would be helpful to me to get some.
Let me.
Can I say one thing?
You said you was going to be quiet. You said you was going to be quiet. First of all, Vivian, we need you to go back, okay, talking about the gap. We need something in black and white, okay, about the property that said that they are going to purchase. Need that in black and white. This landscape all the way around, we need that in black and white. The subsidies, if that's going to be there, we need that in black and white. Gentlemen, what you all are saying, we're telling you, Vivian, to go back to the table, sit down with them, renegotiate, bring something back to us that's durable. If it's not durable, then we will RFP and move on. I'm just saying, so if I'm in order, I'd like to offer a motion that we table this.
Okay, just because I'm hearing two things now. You're asking for her to go back and bring it back, so you want to table till that happens. And I heard Fitzpatrick say he wants to start from scratch, which I think was, didn't we originally go out for RFPs for this?
Yes.
Yes.
So is that what you're saying, Fitzpatrick? You'd like to start over and go out for RFPs?
I would, but I'll do, the majority wants to table it, I don't care.
Okay. I have a motion to table. Is there a
Can I ask
second?
one question?
Yes.
The question I have, I'd like from Vivian, and I'd like from you gentlemen, is what time frame do you need to dot the I and cross the T?
Well, we can't now. First, I got to do, when there's a motion to table, it ends discussion.
I'll
unless
second,
it fails.
it for discussion.
There's a motion to table. There's no discussion on their table. You
Okay.
vote yes or no.
Okay, I'll support the table.
Okay, there's a motion second. All in favor of tabling it?
Aye.
All in favor of opposing it?
Nay.
Opposed?
Nay.
I want more discussion.
How many said nay?
I did.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 to table it. The motion's tabled. Ends discussion.
Thank you for your time.
Point of information, table till when?
Table until they get the information and bring it back to us.
Indefinitely?
Well,
No, they hopefully it's not going to
well,
be
let's ask the exec director how long.
I would like to bring back in a draft form a purchase and development agreement next month so that we can either move ahead or start
Go back
over.
out RFP.
Or go
Right,
back out.
thank
Okay,
you.
good.
I
That's
agree.
all next month. That's where it's at. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Consideration proposal for 480 and 211 East Ocean Avenue.
Thank you, Chair. This is two properties. These are two properties the CRA owns, and one that we have renovated significantly from a little cottage. And the board has a listing agreement with Practice and Company to help us vet people interested in both properties. And the exhibit to the listing agreements to both of them states that the desired type of business solicited by the owner is a restaurant and/or bar. The reason, and we had this discussion very lively, as I recall, that we didn't want businesses that would not bring more activity to Ocean Avenue. Ocean Avenue is pretty quiet right now. There's a lot of residential units on Ocean Avenue between the railroad tracks and Seacrest. And I think the goal of the board is to change that and make it more of a active street. So that was the desired type of business, restaurant and/or bar. So that was this is the exhibit to the listing agreement for anyone who is interested. I brought extra copies. So that was the marching orders for Tom Practice and Steve Massini, who interacted with anyone interested on the properties. And we did receive a lot of interest on the properties. Quite frankly, it was that the retail market has definitely picked up. Everyone I'm talking to on any property in the CRA, we've had 2 retail centers sell within the CRA in the last 6 months. So that shows you things are happening. We received 5 proposals from on 480, 4 from businesses and 1 from a developer interested in buying and leasing it out to a tenant. And we received 2 proposals on 211 that both to purchase, 1 from a developer and 1 from somebody who wants to put a bed and breakfast. So we're going, and if you look at the attached spreadsheet, there's a lot of people who came and were interested but didn't give all of the information that they were required to give. There's information that you need to give, particularly with 211, because it is, right now, it's just a house. It's not a commercial property. So to take it from a house to a commercial property is quite extensive. So that's why you'll see people highlighted in yellow and people highlighted or not highlighted at all because they were unable to give that information of how they were going to convert it. Also, it needs land use, rezoning, and site plan. So there was no discussion of that either. So I will have Mr. Practice come up and discuss what staff and I and Mr. Practice sat down. We went through all of these. One of the things that we have found with 211, and we've owned it for quite a while, we've had many, I think this is our third attempt to try to get somebody in that. The big hurdle is the land use zoning and the cost to take it from residential to commercial. It's a big hurdle for that street today, because it's a primarily residential street with a sprinkling of retail that closes at night mostly. It's not open at night. So it's a big hurdle for most businesses to get over. So that's been a big problem for us to fill it. And I hate to see it sitting there vacant. It's not adding any value to the street at all. And it's unfortunate. I'd like Mr. Practice to come up and talk about, I don't know if you want to hear from the proposers first, or if you want to hear from Mr. Practice.
Let's hear from Mr. Kraken what he did and how this all came about, and then we'll go to the proposer.
Okay.
I want to hear from each of the proposers, too.
Right, but before you come up, Vivian said that there were some parts of the puzzle that wasn't, given to us, and I think I heard why she said it, but I'm just saying, will they be able to go back and get those parts of the puzzle and bring them back to us? This is what I'm trying to figure out,
I'm sorry, I'm not.
You said there's a lot of hurdles that they will have to cross. Will they be able
I
to
think
do
that's
it?
been the reason we haven't been able to get a tenant in there is on 211 is the difficulty financially to go from a house to a commercial structure especially a house of that age has been too financially huge to overcome for most of them. That's why we have tried.
Okay, we know where 211 is, but the public might not know where 211 is. I'm just saying you need to.
Okay, it's actually between First and the FEC railroad tracks. It's a two-story yellow home, the oldest structure as far as we know from our historic librarian in the city.
Across from that little Kenny's carry-out market.
They might not know.
Across from Kenny's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good landmark.
Yes, sir. Let's move along here.
Yeah.
Hi, ladies, gentlemen. Tom Practice and Company. I just wanted to address a little bit of the guidelines that we've gone through. We followed the protocol of the CRA when we got the listing. We're a real estate company, a brokerage company. We were vetting out possible tenants, buyers of the properties, as we were told. And tonight we bring 4 to 5 deals to the table that you have, I think, in front of you. I can talk again if you'd like after the proposals are made. We have proposals to lease 480 from one person. We have one buy for 480. We have a contract to purchase 211 from the same developer that is a restaurant operator and developer, which is strange in this world, but they're both, and they have an offer in for both the 211 and 480. Then we have a brewing company that has a proposal in to lease 480. We've spoken to the Three Horn Brewing Company. They seem amenable. They're here tonight. They seem amenable to move to. We think it's a better idea, and I'm trying to get the highest and best use for the city of Boynton and for everything for the community. They are in line to move to 211 from 480. We just thought, from our standpoint and our experience in the industry, that it'd be better for their brewing operations, for their beer garden, and to create more energy on the street for them to move to 211. The developer that has the contract in to purchase is very amenable to working with Three Horn Brewery to lease them and work out a formidable deal to go forward to put them into 211, which would bring that property to life and make it a commercial entity. We also have the local developer, local development company, is the name of the company. They are also willing to do a lease with anyone that is formidable on 480. If not, they are also restaurant operators. They are willing to put a concept in that they have few different concepts, and they do have operators. They're willing to take 480 and operate it under their flag as a restaurant, cafe. They've got a few very cool concepts that they would like to bring to the table if they can't lease it in a short span. We've gone through the process, like I say, we vetted out these people. We also have another proposal in for a bed and breakfast for 211. I believe, correct me, Steve's my partner. We have, that's the only two in for 211, right? Okay, so we have 211 for a bed and breakfast.
Sal Campanelli.
Sal Campanella is on 480.
No, and 211.
And 211, I'm sorry. Okay, for a pizza bar, restaurant, cafe. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought you said. Okay.
After you finish.
Okay, and that's where we stand right now with the applicants that have. Oh, and we also have a music school or guitar store that wanted to lease or wants to lease 211, which just because of the decree of how they wanted restaurant bar didn't fit the criteria. But we met with them, and the developer, again, if he was successful in buying 211, he would defer to the council or CRA. If that's okay, he has no problem with working out a lease with the guitar music company. So that's where we stand as far as what we've come through with the couple months or 3 months that we've gone through this leasing process. I'm going to call on Steve, my partner, to go ahead and just back up the fact that, is that where we're at with the leases?
Steve Mosini, broker with Practicing Company. Pretty much I met with everyone at each location that they were interested in and collected all the information and presented it to the CRA, Vivian and Michael. Went through it with them, and we narrowed it down to the people who completed packages, and they're in order in front of you, I believe. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Okay. Rona, you have a question ready?
No.
Go ahead.
Okay. Goes like this. If I'm understanding you, because you're not stating it emphatically, it sounds like you have a preference. Am I wrong? Because you kept emphasizing, and the gentleman who wants to buy it, his name is Kaplan?
Yeah,
because
Bruce,
that hasn't been mentioned.
Bruce Kaplan.
Okay.
He's here tonight.
Okay, because I'd like to hear him too.
Oh, we're going to hear all. He's here to present.
But I'm looking at 211 in the sense that it's a residential area. And I haven't decided, what's right or not, but the idea of having a bed and breakfast seems like it fits in because of the quaintness of it versus a brewery that is open and changes the whole scope of the neighborhood.
Okay, I'll answer that in different parts, and I want to address it. We were told that the preference was restaurant and bar use, so we did our job. We went out to get that job.
Yeah.
Now, bed and breakfast, I've looked at the proposal, and I can say we're professionals in the restaurant end or bed and breakfast or any kind of entertainment, hospitality, hotels. We do hotel brokerage. The only thing in front of you, you're going to look at the proposals objectively. I don't have a horse in the race. In other words, we're here to do the best job we can for Boynton. We really are. Whatever decision you make, we go by it. We're fine with it. The only reason I have looked at all the proposals, of course, it's my job, number one. Number two, when the bed and breakfast, I've looked at the bed and breakfast proposal. Financially, it depends on how you want to look at it. Financially, I can't see, and I'm saying this from a business standpoint, I can't see how a bed and breakfast with 4 rooms can financially support this endeavor. In other words, meaning this is a big endeavor. So from a standpoint of the developer buying this property, he also is, as you can see, he's very amenable. He's buying units in Casa Costa. He's bought some. He's a developer in Delray down south of here. He loves Boynton. They love Boynton. They want to make this their next home, as far as the development goes. So he's willing to take the property also. And if you want to keep it residential, he's spoken to, and we've talked to Vivian about keeping the historic house, or even maybe moving the historic house and him developing it into kind of a very, very cool, quaint apartment complex that would be residential, if that's where the board wants to go. He's very open and amenable, and he wants to be in the area. From an economy of scale, he would like to have both properties, because the 480 is a smaller piece, the 211 is a bigger piece. He'd like to make an impact in the downtown. That being said, if you want to go the residential route, I believe he would still be a buyer of the property. He's got a proposal at that price. We just want you to, like I said, give us the final guidance on which way you'd like to go. And if you want 211 to stay retail, I mean, the music or the guitar store, he's amenable to keep it to a retail. He would enter into a lease agreement with.
I think we get it.
Okay.
And we're going to hear from him. So I'd like to get these proposals started, and for the people coming forward, I'd like you to
I just want to point out, Mayor, that I learned today from Planning Director Mike Rumpf. He said that on a B&B, the owner has to live on site. So that it's a requirement of the code. He sent me the portion of the code. I was unaware of that myself.
Okay, before you start making your presentations, as you see, we have 5 of them. So I would like you to be very succinct and make your points, make all the points you want to, but try not, we don't want to be here till midnight, so try and be as good as you can with me. Thank you.
All right, good evening, board members. My name is Chris Montague. I live at 222 West Ocean Avenue here in Boynton Beach. My fiance, Lauren Huff, and I own SoFlo Music School in Delray Beach. We've been in business about 2 years now, and we did indeed submit a proposal for this property. Upon viewing the agenda for tonight's meeting, I realized this weekend that my proposal was not included. I called the CRA. Actually, I stopped by there in the morning to ask them why my proposal was not included. And they informed me that they were only looking for restaurants. My trouble with this statement is that I've communicated with the CRA several times. I communicated with Mr. Prakis. I'm very clear that I'm a music school and not a restaurant or bar, and at no point did anybody tell me, I'm sorry, sir, we're only looking for a restaurant or bar. So why I was allowed to even submit this if you only wanted a restaurant bar is a little bit confusing to me. That set aside, we put in the proposal because we love Boynton Beach. We've been living here for about 6 months. I feel that my business fits the building perfectly. I also own a historic home here in the town. The build out for this building would come far under budget for what you've offered, and we feel that it's a perfect fit. I also am just a little bit surprised to hear the push only for a restaurant and bar when, if you read your own material online on your own website, it does not insinuate that. As a matter of fact, I have an advertisement printed here in which you guys say, have a picture of the Magnuson Cottage there, and you say all the different types of businesses that could exist in there. So, if we can look beyond that, we can consider something. My other topic that I'd like to talk to you all about today, beyond my business proposal, which I hope you get a chance to review. And I think it's important you review it because according to your own criteria, my business has met all the needs. And it is the only business on your spreadsheet, if you notice, that has a yes across the board. You will notice, though, that there is one no on the last section that shows I did not submit a letter of intent to lease. This is inaccurate. I have my entire proposal here, stamped, signed, received by the CRA with my letter of intent to lease the building. I was told by Vivian Brooks that I did not submit a letter of intent, but it's right here in black and white. I offered to lease the building for the price offered by the CRA to lease the building. I was also told by Vivian Brooks after she said the restaurant, that you only want the restaurant, and I sent you your own website information disproving that the reason my proposal was turned down is because I did not explain to the board how I would rezone the building from residential to commercial. And I think there may be some big confusion here because a tenant of a building is not able to rezone a building from residential to commercial. The owner of a building must do this. So none of the people here hoping to occupy this building as a tenant have the power nor the ability to rezone this building. I talked to the zoning board here today at the City Hall, and they told me that you have to own a building to rezone it. Am I confused in this? A tenant can go, somebody who doesn't own a building, and get it rezoned?
You can do it with the owner's cooperation. The owner signs on the form.
Okay. So that's not my sole responsibility, correct?
No, if you want to do it under your tenant occupancy, you do it, and we sign as owner.
Okay. And furthermore, that my business set aside in this matter, I'm a citizen here of Boynton Beach. These two properties are extremely important key properties in the Ocean Avenue Business District, as I'm sure you guys understand. The Oscar Magnuson House is a historic cottage. It's built by one of the pioneers of our city, and the CRA board here put a tremendous amount of effort into the Little House. My concern is that you've been poorly represented by the private interest that is representing you as a real estate agent. And I want you to be aware that with the buyer that is on the table and the extremely low price offered compared to the price that you purchased the property for, it represents a huge loss. We must be aware of this, correct?
We're aware of all this stuff you're telling us here.
Okay.
I know about it. What I want to know, tell me about your business. What do you want to do there? That's what I want to hear.
We own a music school in Delray Beach. We have something in the neighborhood of 150 plus students a week that come into our lesson. One of the reasons I felt that this was in line, although it's not a restaurant and bar, is that we do attract tremendous amount of visitors, around 600 people a month. The unique thing about a music school is that unlike a restaurant or a bar or any other retail business, when people come, oftentimes they're dropping off their children for a lesson or a loved one, and they are basically stuck in your town for a half an hour to an hour at a time. We've seen this to be true in the plaza where we're located currently. The businesses around us benefit tremendously by having us there. Beyond that, we included in our proposal ideas to boost evening entertainment. One thing that's a big thing going on right now in the music world is there's a lot of stuff going on with the ukulele. And I don't know if you're aware, I actually have a member here of the Boynton Beach Ukulele Society. They host meetings here in their own private home that attract as much as 50 people at a pop. Same thing in Delray Beach. They used to host their meetings at my school. Our school is too small, so my business is looking to expand. I love living here in Boynton Beach. I'm interested in rolling the dice with you all and taking the risk to move my business to Boynton Beach. I believe it will be successful, and I believe it can benefit the community. We also are a retail store. We sell instruments, guitars, ukuleles, strings, things of that nature. This would represent an expansion for us. Just so you can kind of understand the business model, we have private music rooms. We offer piano, guitar, bass, drums, all the instruments. This would be an increase of about 2 lesson rooms for us. Each lesson room represents, a potential income of like $72,000 a year. So this is growth for us. And I think it's also a great opportunity for the community. If you look around Ocean Avenue here, and when we bought our house here, one of the things that was amazing is you have the Children's Science Museum right here. You have the library right here. You have all these beautiful family resources. There's little kids over here on a playground, okay, all day long. And I just think we fit right in line with that, possibly more than even a restaurant or bar would do, especially considering the area is primarily residential at the moment.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions here.
Yes, sir.
So you're a music teacher, right? You teach music, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what would you have to do to the house in order to do you have to add on, or what would you have to remodel?
To answer your question, very little, and that's why I feel we're a very good candidate for this project, because we're not trying to build a kitchen, we're not trying to renovate the home. We operate our lesson rooms in small rooms. The renovation would be very small. I submitted examples of what I'd like to do. Really, the majority of the renovations I'd like to do to the building would be just to improve the appearance of the building and also create, kind of utilize the backyard as an event space where we can host meetings like these gatherings of musicians, like the ukulele meetup and things like that. The other benefit I see of my business to the area is it's directly adjacent to the beautiful stage you all have here. A lot of my music instructors are local musicians. I myself am a local musician. I would love to work with the community to make sure that we have high caliber music acts coming here to our stage.
Would you be living there or just a business there?
I live on the same street. I live right here, just west of Seacrest on 222 Ocean Avenue.
Okay. So that's your residence. This would just be a business,
This would
right?
just be my business, sir, correct.
Would you be using the upstairs?
The upstairs would be lesson rooms, correct. The downstairs would be a reception area.
You'd have to put an elevator in. That's code.
I'm not sure that's accurate.
I am sure it's accurate. Unfortunately, it's...
Every business with 2 stories has an elevator?
Yes, we are. We've been through this road with other businesses on this building, so...
So the restaurants are going to put in an elevator?
If they were going to use upstairs, they would have to put an elevator, yes.
Did you?
That ADA?
I'm just confused by the city putting out. I'm confused by the
hurdles that we've been facing.
Is that ADA requirement?
That's
Yes,
not
it
an
is.
ADA requirement. I own a business right now. Requirements, it requires upgrading your building to the ability of the owner of the building. There's tons of businesses in all the cities here and all the counties in Florida that don't have an elevator to the 2nd floor. I can't believe this is possibly true. I don't know the true answer. We could certainly look into it.
We'd look into it. We'd look into it if we decide to go that route.
I don't understand the smirking either about it. I mean, if there's an issue where we have to put an elevator in this building, what kind of retail space will you put in there?
Well,
You want to
let's-
use the upstairs, that's the city.
So we'll have to
that's
put
state
we'll
code.
have to put an elevator for the bed and breakfast or any business that goes in there, correct?
Okay.
Well, anyways, that's my
Anyway, that's
proposal
not
in a
the point
nutshell.
here right
I
now.
hope that
Yeah.
you all received a copy of my proposal. Did you? Because that's my
I haven't
other
seen
issue.
it.
It didn't appear in the agenda.
I haven't seen
I
it.
have it signed and sealed that I delivered.
Okay.
I actually delivered 8 copies of this for all of you to review.
Well, we'll get a copy. We'll get a
All right.
copy. Thank you.
Just before
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
leave, since
Yes, sir.
it's a music place, what are you going to be doing in regards to like sound? I'm just saying, since it's in a residential area,
A fair question. Right now, we operate in a plaza. We're in between 2 restaurants, or a fish market and a restaurant. The sound is very minimal. Most of the lessons are acoustic guitars, pianos, electric pianos that could be turned down. We do have a drum set. It's muted. It has, it's stuffed with newspaper. It's very quiet. We've never, ever received a noise complaint in the plaza we're in, and we currently have neighbors and tenants. So I feel there's no issue at all with sound whatsoever here.
that was my concern. Thank you.
You're in Delray right now, right?
Yes, we're in
Yeah.
Delray Beach right now.
Okay. How long you been there?
We've been there for 2 years, we've had a very successful business. And I think if you review your own standards that you put forth, you'll find we're the only one that met it.
Thank you.
And I would like to note that we purchased our home here via the success of our business, and we live in Boynton Beach, and we're willing to bring our business here if you'll have us.
Thank you. Appreciate
And
it.
I'll leave it at that.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Do we get to ask questions?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, could you come back? Excuse me. Hello? Hello?
Sir.
Hey,
Hey,
sir.
we need you.
I'm sorry. We have some more questions here. Well, the commissioner, I'm sorry. I apologize.
We know you're excited,
Yeah, they had another couple more questions.
If you move your business, you're in a commercial area now you're moving to a quieter area, is your business going to follow you?
I believe so. It represents a move of 4 miles. A lot of our customers live in Delray or just East Delray and up here in the. It's very close, and we're talking. I don't know if any of you have children, but when children and people are doing these activities, it's very common for people to drive a half an hour to take your daughter to dance class, drive an hour for your son's baseball game. It represents a move of our business of only 4 miles.
Okay.
So I believe that our business will come with us. We have great customers. We have perfect 5-star reviews everywhere. They exist on the internet, and we have a lot of support.
So you dropped those business plans off at the CRA building?
I did indeed. I dropped them off to Mr. Prakis. He dropped them off at the CRA, and they failed to supply them to you. I went to the CRA office on Monday to ask why my initiative is not listed in here. As a matter of fact, they only listed me on these. They didn't even list me as a viable candidate on the sheet. I'm not highlighted in yellow even as a viable option to rent to the gentleman who's interested in buying. I went to the office and I asked why, and I have actually my email correspondence with Ms. Brooks, and the reasons I was given are, in my opinion, just false. So I had them sign and stamp every page in my proposal proving that I did indeed submit it in time, and that's pretty much where we are with this
Okay.
thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Any more questions? No? Thank you.
I had one thing to say. I personally accepted the binders, and I personally turned them in a box along with everyone else's. Some people handed me one sheet of paper. Chris printed 7 binders, and I brought them all. So I don't.
Thank you.
We made
They-
copies at your office, so everything was.
And they have them all at the office. When I walked into the office and I said, why is my proposal not being considered, they brought all the binders to me. So I just ask you, too, to review your spreadsheet of the people interested here.
Thank
And the evidence is there. Anyways, have a good evening. Thank you.
I just got a quick question to our director. To the director, do we have those binders? Why wasn't we given to at our meeting?
When we sat down to look at these, there was not in the binder, the binder I looked at, there wasn't any proposal to rent, what was he going to pay, and how he was going to renovate the building, any costs or anything.
Qualified to be on it?
Right. Because he didn't have, it was, how are you going to, cover the cost of obviously the renovation that needed to happen.
No financial.
He had none of that, so he had financials from last year, but he didn't have a proposed how he's going to cover the cost of that, and in my binder that I had. So I had one of the binders out of the box.
But excuse me, my whole take is, Mrs. Brooks, I'm just saying when somebody is trying to do business in Boynton and they submit something for us to review, I feel obligated that I need to get whatever's there. When whatever is missing, we can deal with it later. I'm just saying I need to see what is given.
Well, we're not trying to stop somebody from doing business. That's not what we're trying to
Well,
do.
stop. Okay, my whole take is that something was delivered to us. It's just like the mail. I did not get mine.
Okay. Let's go, let's move
Could I
on.
ask Vivian? Viv?
Yes.
The question I have, which I sort of was on his side, you're saying if you have 2 floors, the law today says you have to have...
Yes, we took another restaurant owner there to the city,
Yeah.
and they told us if they wanted to use the second floor for dining with bringing the public up to it, that they had to have,
But isn't that a different category because it's a restaurant versus...
No, if you wanted to use it without the public going up there, like your personal residence, you wouldn't need an elevator. If you wanted it for bringing
his
public up there,
clients, his customers, yeah.
right? That's what they told. That's what the building department told us.
Because I think we should check that, because I'm not saying, I don't know what you know.
That's
but
just
2
what they
stores
told us
is
when
like
we
nothing.
went with the last group. Bucky, I think the mayor might remember that, and we were in intense negotiations with them, and maybe Buck remembers that. But
Well, that's easy to find out. We'll find out. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Last year, I started researching municipalities all over Palm Beach County for perfect locations open up a bed and breakfast and public rental event space. Upon locating the Magnuson House on Ocean Avenue and seeing all the benefits, such as the street name branding, coastal clientele, access to the beach, marina, and restaurants, I contacted CRA Director Vivian Brooks. After having a great meeting with Mrs. Brooks and learning about your city and the desire to have a wine or brewery business in the downtown, I expanded the business plan to accommodate. Before submitting my proposal, Before submitting my proposal, I took every step in educating myself on the structural condition of the property, the history of the land, and the original builder, Oscar Magnuson, as well as the expense of building out this project. The proposal includes a wraparound beer and wine establishment, 4 luxury suites built adjacent on the north end of the property, and the public rental event space for parties and meetings. I brought a large architectural rendering for all of you to see of what the would look like. My architect is here as well, if you have any questions. I spent over a year researching, planning, and investing thousands of dollars in this proposal. I hired an architect, a business consultant, a restaurant expert with over 40 years experience, and submitted a financial plan to the city that has been certified by a public accountant. I consulted with an environmental engineer to inquire about the soil due to the property, which was once a nursery. I paid for a full inspection, referenced on page 110 in the proposal, based on the appraisal obtained from the CRA, which was done in 2013, and referenced on page 57. Concerns were raised of mold, environmental, and structural damage. My inspection matched those concerns and more. If you would like to review the current inspection appraisal the CRA had on file, please reference this package submitted last November. I am asking you to consider the submitted proposal to create an anchor establishment for downtown Boynton Beach. I secured $400,000 to invest in this business. Based on the numbers in the proposal, it will approximately cost $250,000 to bring it up to structural code and safety regulations. The CRA suggested beer and wine component would include a wraparound porch, commercial kitchen, conversion of the first floor to be ADA compliant, and cosmetic and interior finish, approximately costing $250,000. The luxury suites and event space component is approximately $350,000. We know, as of the last appraisal done, the value of the land and house is $159,000, referenced on page 57. Taking into consideration, my CPA noted my potential risk, and I am investing $400,000. I am asking to obtain ownership of the property and financial assistance to make this project a success. I will close with a few comments about why I believe in this proposal and your city. We have seen neighboring cities like Delray Beach and Lake Worth create dynamic and sustainable coastal downtowns. Ocean Avenue House will embody Boynton Beach's vibrancy and attract travelers from all over the world. AAA and Zell Worldwide Travel Group have written referral letters for current and future business. After meeting residents and business owners, demand for an establishment like this is present. I lost a few of them because of the time. A beer and wine and events and luxury suites location will bring life to the downtown and be beneficial to struggling businesses on Ocean Avenue. Boynton Beach has the opportunity to start anew by supporting a business to attract local patrons and out-of-town visitors. Many coastal downtowns use historical locations as cornerstones of economic growth, such as the Sunday House in Dada's in Delray Beach and St. Francis Bed and Breakfast in North Florida. The historical Magnuson House is the perfect place to make this happen in Boynton Beach. I would offer and coordinate destination vacations and retreats utilizing the local marina, beach, spas, and restaurants. I will create an alliance with local industries to provide our guests with the best Boynton Beach has to showcase. Boynton Beach has untapped charm, character, and can become a great coastal destination in Florida. We believe it can all start with the Magnuson House, 211 East Ocean Avenue. Again, I ask you to read through the 137-page submitted proposal for our financial, marketing, information, and current conditions of the property. I thank you for your time and your consideration, and I hope together we can build a better downtown Boynton Beach.
Thank you. Mr. Buchanan?
Okay. Thank you for your presentation.
You're
I have a couple of questions to make sure I understand it. The 4 bed and breakfast units are going to be in a new building behind the...
Yes.
Okay.
Behind the house in the north. I would try to save the mango trees that are back there since it was originally a mango and fern nursery for the historical factor, but they would be next door, and they would be their own entrances, so they could be used for suites for vacations.
And clarify for me what use you anticipate on the second floor of the original structure?
I would actually live there so that way and have office space so that way I could manage the property and give life to it all the time.
And you're seeking ownership.
Yes.
If, of course, I realize you're planning on putting a lot of money in it, but if there, would you consider a lease deal also?
Possibly, yes, with an option to buy at a decent price, because I'll be investing years of my life and my energy into this project. I believe in it. I believe in your city. I know through my years and years of hospitality experience that I can do this project and make it spectacular.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Is that great?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First question is, you did not drop binders off for us, did you? Because I didn't get one.
Yes, I did. I delivered to everyone, to the city hall. I delivered for every commissioner, for the mayor, the vice mayor, and to the CRA in November. I actually started the proposal process, and then the RFP was put out after I met with Vivian, and that's kind of how the whole thing started.
Okay, second question is financial assistance. You're looking for financial assistance
Yes,
from the
I
CRA?
am. Yes.
How much are you looking for?
I have a very detailed financial projections in here and an offer, but I'm basically looking for, I believe the number is, can I just look? I have a business consultant who's actually out of the country, and we just recently found out about this presentation, so he couldn't be here. Hold on, sorry about that. I'm looking for a $250,000 for the suggested beer and wine components. I would be putting the money in for the event space and the luxury suites, and I need the $250 to bring it up to code. The building has significant structural damage. With even the top floor, you have to be very careful. I actually have a contractor here who also looked at the property and gave me a full appraisal of the costs. There's water damage, there's mold, there possibly is lead paint, and the soil needs to be tested. So I want to make sure that I can support the house properly.
Next question is, all of you out there with the blue dots, you all look at this project. Wow.
And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I lost a lot of my supporters, but I also have the letters from AAA Travel and from Zell Worldwide Travel, which is a huge corporate travel agency, that they would be supporting me and sending me clients due to the fact that they've worked with me for years in my event business.
Right, just from your personality, it
Thank
should be
you.
successful.
I was a little nervous because I don't often public speak.
Vivian?
Yes.
What is this land valued at, this project? building and,
Right now, it's on the, it's on the appraiser for, I pulled it up today.
Vivian, what I'm trying to,
It's in the package, I know.
That's from 2013. That's an old appraisal. It's on the property appraisers for 158,895, but that's not an appraisal. Generally, you add 30% to that, give or take.
so say 200, is that a fair?
Yeah.
Round it off. So you're saying it's appraised at 200, and they're asking what amount? In other words, what I'm trying to say, the idea sounds wonderful.
Thank you.
So did the gentleman over there with the guitar. They both sounded like wonderful ideas. But the bottom line in this, he wants to lease where you want to buy.
Right.
And
I'm
excuse me.
open. Oh, sorry.
And so what I'm trying to figure out, numbers-wise, what is it a good investment? Is it a realistic investment, what they're suggesting? The idea, the premise of what they want to do is one thing, but the dollar amount is another thing. And that's what I don't understand exactly the give and take here.
I have here out of the original proposal Tara gave me in November, she's willing to invest $250,000 of her own money for renovations, and she's requesting $482,000 from the CRA plus the land.
Plus the land, meaning giving it to them.
Right.
Don't you look at it as just, whoops, make it simple.
It's $489
Isn't
plus.
it just saying, hey, here's a piece of land with a house, I'm buying it, and that's what it is? Because you're separating, or she's separating, two different pricings. To me,
You
if
add it
she wants to
together.
buy it, she's saying, this is what I want to spend for the land and the house.
Right. It's a cost to us in total. I think the CRA needs to look at the cost in total, and they need to look at, is this what you want to activate Ocean Avenue? Is this what you think compared to, a brew pub, which we're becoming known as the brew pub capital of Palm Beach County?
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I'm asking.
Oh, absolutely, it's a good thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the things you need to weigh. It's not just the money. The money is one thing. And when people say we're giving away land, we give away land. Our role is not to make money. We are not a real estate company. We are a redevelopment company. We buy land to get businesses and developers to reinvest into our city. And that's what we do every day. We just had a deal here now. So that's what we're trying to do, is to try to figure out what's the best thing that will have the best impact.
Why I like it is the fact that you have residency there. It's homey. How's that word? It's homey.
We got a lot of residents on Ocean Avenue, a lot.
Yeah, but it's a combination. It's a combination of bedding, it's a combination of restaurant. It adds a nice flavor to the street, just like, again, I don't mean to mix my metaphors, but the idea of putting music in it, I see it as a plus also.
Is it, and I guess I have to ask Tara this, because it wasn't clear to me in the packet. The wine and bar thing, is it open to the public?
Absolutely, with live music, of course, in accordance to the time slots with the neighbors being around. I'm very conscious of everything I put into this plan has been very thought out. I've asked residents what they want. I've gone to great lengths to hire a restaurant consultant who's had those over 40 years experience. So I feel very equipped to do this project and to give you guys really the best situation for that area with charm and just, I don't know, I think it will just be beautiful and artsy, and you see the rendering that we did,
Okay,
it
well,
fits
we're
right
getting
in.
repetitive here. You got a question?
Yes, just a couple of statements. Tara, I met you a while back, and when you had this idea, you were the first one on board with this. I brought your idea down to, I mentioned it to our executive director, and shortly after that, the RFPs started
Thank you,
coming
and
out.
I appreciate it.
What I do appreciate about you, you did a business plan. You actually went out there and got professionals. You actually paid money out of your own pocket to have these tests done and these surveys done. I don't see anybody else in front of us that have gone that far. You've got some skin in this game already. You come to the closest, I think, that we've talked at one time about having a piano bar of such in Boynton Beach. I think this is about as close as we're going to get to one. And I love the proposal. I love your due diligence and the way you did your homework on this, and I'm for this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to point out that for what's coming up is lighting along Ocean Boulevard, and there's 327 pages of backup. For the welcome signs replacement, there's 314 pages of backup. For marina fuel pumps, there was 98 pages of backup. And for this whole project here, there's 18 pages. And 13 of those pages are a reprint of the November contract with Praxis. So I'm not comfortable in voting tonight on anything. I want to hear all the presentations, but I'm not going to vote for anything because I don't see any backup on any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So
I believe I got the packet she showed. I believe I got that back last year when she first brought it out.
I got it.
So
well,
I think I
if you're
got
going
it.
to reprint something from
Well, I
November, then
agree.
you should reprint something from a year ago.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm saving my comments till I hear all the proposals.
Right.
I don't want to jump up and say, "Gee,
and
this
I
is
have
great."
one other. I forgot that I did talk to Rebecca Shelton last night, and she told me to tell me there was an email from former Mayor Jeff Perlman in my email.
Yeah. Commissioner,
No, I'm saving my comments.
okay. I just want to be. My only question was you talked about the wraparound beer thing. Did you say that was going to cost how much to do that?
The wraparound beer and wine, let me just make sure I'm giving you the exact numbers.
Anyway, I guess what I was going to ask, are you paying for that, or are you looking for help? Or
I'm looking for help with that
For that to
component
do
because
that?
that was CRA. I'm putting in the luxury suites and the event space.
And that's the luxury what?
The luxury suites, the 4 luxury suites where people could sleep and
Oh, the bed
stay
and
overnight.
breakfast part,
Yes.
the bed and breakfast part.
And the event
And that's going to be
space.
built in the back?
Yes.
And how much is that?
That is, that totals $350,000.
And you're paying that?
Yes.
You're paying that, okay.
Yes.
And the $250,000 to bring it up to code, who's paying
Yes.
that?
That I'm asking the CRA and the city to pay.
Okay, so that's 250 to bring it to code. It was, I think you said 250 for the wraparound.
250.
For the wraparound, right? So about 500.
Approximately.
500,000.
I had 2 inspections done, but, I would, of course, bid it out.
I'm just trying to get some
Mm-hmm.
financials in my head here. Okay, so we're talking about $500,000 there that you're asking, plus the land and the house. Yeah, but you say you want to buy it, but you really want us to give it to you.
Yes.
You want to own it.
But I am open to lease to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again, please. I didn't hear that.
I am open to lease to buy.
A lease to buy, in other words.
If it's-
With that
Buy
code.
in the future.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions of this proposal? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next? Do we have a pizza guy? Pardon?
Hi.
Good evening. Are you?
Yes,
Are
I'm-
you another proposal?
No, I don't have a proposal. I just want to speak in favor of.
Well, that I know you're all in favor of it there.
Okay.
You know, we don't need to hear that. We want to hear the proposals. I can see that. You all got your blue tags. You're all supporting
Mr.
it.
Campanelli? Do I see Mr. Campanelli? I saw some.
Who's the next proposer here? Come on up.
I don't think so.
Either one works.
Okay. Either one.
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Jason Ficara, and I'm from Three Horns Brewing Company.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? No.
No, take your hand off there. There you go.
Okay,
Now.
go.
Okay. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, because she's got to record it. You know.
Sorry. I'm Jason Ficara, and I'll be speaking on behalf of Three Horns Brewing Company. This is Eric Wiest and Coy Patrick. I'm just curious, did everyone receive a copy of our presentation that we had put together?
No. No, we did not. We actually just took what was required under the criteria, and we just made a spreadsheet and said whether you met the criteria, yes or no.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just give everybody a little background on who we are. and what we're trying to achieve in the city of Boynton Beach. We formed 2 years ago. We're 3 friends. It started as a hobby, something that we decided a couple of years ago that we wanted to bring into a more professional light. Upon meeting with the CRA, we kind of felt that our vision for what we wanted to do was in line with the city of Boynton Beach and the CRA, which is a small brewery that does craft beer and also a gastropub aspect to it. Okay, and part of our plan too is, as Mr. Practice said, who came up before us, initially when we had put our business plan together, the offer that we originally put in was in fact for 480, which is the Little House property. Taking Mr. Practice's expertise on the restaurant industry, he kind of told us that either of those properties would be a really good fit for us, and that we might have more room to kind of fulfill our vision at the larger of the 2 properties, which is 211. So all the information that we gave to your office, we can tailor for either of these locations. We did, since you guys didn't know, we do have a chef who's not able to be here with us tonight. Her name is Nicole Vitano. She was working for Michelle Bernstein at Crumb on Parchment in Miami. She's currently opening another restaurant called Fook in Miami. She was not able to make it tonight to be part of this presentation. Let me take a look at all that. Okay, and our goal obviously would be to be a hub for the crowd that we believe that the CRA and the city of Boynton Beach is trying to attract, especially with the building of 500 Ocean coming in. We kind of envision that you guys are going to have the ability to be a Del Rey as far as having these really great food options, attracting kind of a millennial crowd. We feel we can be a great starting point for that kind of change happening downtown here. In the business plan that we presented, I'd love if everyone could get a copy of it. We talk about doing events that draw a lot of beer tourism into the area, so doing stuff on Ocean Avenue as far as beer tastings and beer competitions. And that's kind of what our vision for everything is, with what you guys are trying to do down here.
What are you going to put in there? I haven't seen your biz plan. Is it a pizza place or what? Tell us what it's going to be.
It would be I'm sorry, I thought I started with it. A brewery.
Oh, just a brewery.
And a restaurant. It would be a brewery.
And a restaurant? What's in the restaurant?
As far as the menu goes?
Yeah.
Our goal as of right now would be to start very light with food. Like I said, we had a chef who has her own restaurant who has quite a name attached to her, come in and design some menu items. Our main focus in the first year, while we're kind of getting everything together, would be small offerings that are either made specifically to be paired with our beers or made from the same ingredients that we use to brew our beers. So they'd be all items that are...
Board Member Hay?
Do you plan on leasing or buying the building?
We're open to any situation. As we had said, we had met with Mr. Practice, and we know he has a client who's interested in buying it. Our intention is open to whatever financially makes sense for us in the city. We have no problem leasing. We have no problem looking at the option of doing a lease to buy. We have no problem working with a developer who wants to buy the property. Whatever financially makes the most sense for our business model is kind of where we are. We're not opposed to any options, though.
On your business plan, do you have your financials in there? Like what you think it'll cost for the 211 and the Little House for both properties?
When we did the business plan, we tailored it to only being the Little House. As I had said, we didn't even know that it would be a joint meeting for both properties. And to be honest, we weren't really familiar with the property at 211 well enough to know what it would need. After talking to Mr. Practice and Stephen, the real estate agent, we had gotten a better idea. So we can tailor the plan that we have very easily. It's all templated out. We can just plug the new numbers in. But we do have an idea for what the Little House would cost.
So you don't have any real numbers for 211?
No.
Okay.
But I will tell you, these guys are the only ones that have an actual business plan, a real business plan of anyone. And I've worked with them for a while and kind of getting to know them. Just they're looking for a location anywhere, period. And kind of told them, well, why don't you look around here? And they're the most organized business group I've had the pleasure to work with in a long time. And it would be an interesting concept because if you've been to other cities that have these, they're called brew pubs, they don't distribute, just so you understand. It's not going to be like Due South. It's not going to be like that. There won't be big trucks coming in around. It's really to do it right there. It's really people come in and try the different beers that they're brewing at the time and have a bite to eat. It's very much more low key. And they're really, I have to say, committed to something that the city has the vision for too, and we've made some great efforts
But
in
you
that.
saying they're the only ones that have a business plan. I pretty
He
much
has
thought
it, too.
she
when
just gave
you
us a
say business plan, she has numbers of the cost. They have a business plan of how their business is going to work.
With no cost.
No.
They don't know the cost of 211.
No.
come on.
But they have a business plan of how their business is going to work over the next 5
Yeah.
years.
They
Which is a
probably
different
weren't
thing.
aware. What about the fact that it's going to cost $250,000 to bring 211 up to code?
If you, the board members remember, during our budget meeting, there is budgeted in the budget $200,000 for this building to renovate it. That is in there, that we said for a tenant, we would put that money towards it. If you remember that, that's still sitting there. So
It's there, we could consider it, doesn't mean we're going to do it.
Right.
Go ahead.
So whoever was to get this property could have access to that if we
Right.
voted for something.
If we vote to do that, yeah.
That would be any of the people who came
correct.
forward.
It was earmarked for that under the
I
budget
have a question,
process.
and it's going to sound
Wait,
negative.
okay. Fitzpatrick?
Okay.
Well, I just like put out the music man is squirming in his seat, so I think he has a business plan too.
Yeah, I thought he did too.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, what's required for a small brewery like this? I mean, ceiling heights, what kind of weight are you putting on the floor? Can it actually, it's commercial. I don't see how it fits into a house,
Both of
an old house.
Absolutely. And this is something that we went through when we first started looking at, especially the Little House, which was the initial location, and still something we're very interested in. Both of these locations would require us to build a structure for the process of brewing. In neither of the considerations that we have we thought about actually brewing beer in either the property at 211 or the property at 480, because it's physically not possible.
It would be an addition, a commercial addition.
It would be.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I'd like to ask Mr. Practice a question.
Well, he's going to come back up
Okay.
after we hear all the
and,
proposals.
see, what I'm hearing, which I'm not crazy about, is the fact, and I'll use a word which is not accurate, it sounds like they're a manufacturing company. On Ocean Avenue, I envision, when we define restaurants doing that practice of restaurants. The idea that they're going, and I'm wrong.
Yeah, he
Go
said
on, Vivi.
he's not going to manufacture, just said they're not going to, because they don't have room there to build, to manufacture
So you're just
beer.
trucking
He's
it
just
in?
bringing it in.
No, I want to clarify.
please. I'm sorry.
Maybe the language is confusing, and I
No, it could
apologize.
be my fault.
We
Okay.
plan on manufacturing beer in very small scale at this property. It will be beer that is consumed on site by our consumers. There will not be trucks coming in and out. It will not be a due south-like operation where there are huge trucks and kegs going out. The draw and kind of what we've built our business model around is bringing people into the city of Boynton Beach to our physical brick and mortar location, and that's where, not to sound tacky, where we make our money.
Can I use the term it's a bar restaurant? Is that an accurate term?
If that term encompasses the fact that we will be producing an alcoholic beverage, then yes.
No, I'm saying you're serving an alcoholic beverage with the image of, I use the word bar, plus you're serving food.
No, we will be producing alcohol.
Have you been to, there's a couple, Brewsies. Brewsies makes beer. Yeah, and it's a restaurant. Yeah.
Fitzpatrick?
Well, to me, I mean,
I don't want to compare you.
in resort cities, you go there, they got somebody making taffy in front of them, and then they sell it there. You got somebody making homemade ice cream, and you watch them do it, and then they sell it there. That's kind of what you're doing with beer, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Ray?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You all make the third person that's been up here that has a business plan that I have not seen. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And you know, if this, you know, I'm going to. If the CRA director has these business plans, I'm sorry. As a board member, I should have something to look at. I'm sorry, and I'm trying to figure out why am I not getting what I need.
I'll give you copies if you want. I can.
Well, I do need them, Vivian. I'm saying I
can
need
give
them
you a
tonight
jump
before they
drive
even get up
tomorrow.
and start talking.
Okay. And when you say you're going to be producing the beer on the site there, do you have to add anything, any building, anything to the site?
Yes, for both locations, we would have to.
The reason I asked that question because, what is it,
480.
480 is a pretty small area already with the parking and all. How much space would you need to add on?
We actually submitted, before we put our proposal together, we met with, I want to say the zoning
Planning
commission?
and zoning.
Planning and zoning. We had a draft made up of actually what we would need, and the building, if you, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Planning and zoning said they could do it. It's not, you don't need that much square footage. It's small. These are small, not the giant things.
The building would be 1,500 square feet,
Yeah.
if memory serves me
All
correct.
right, thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions for this proposer? Thank you. Who's the next one? Sir?
I'm the pizza guy. Hi, my name is Salvatore Campanelli. I'm a resident of Boynton Beach.
I'm hungry.
I should have brought some.
You should have.
Yeah, you should have.
I live on Diane Drive. I've been a resident of Boynton Beach for about 10 years on and off. I've had a lot of interest in the East Boynton Beach area for a couple of years now. I'm a restaurateur. I've been in the business my whole life. I really believe in what you guys are doing and pushing for. I see Boynton Beach as even better than Delray Beach. I'm a master chef. I'm a master pizza chef. I trained at the Naples Institute of Culinary Arts and Hotel Management. I own a restaurant in Delray Beach. It's 250 seats. It's called Mastino Wood Fire Pizza Kitchen. My last restaurant was in the Keys. It was a 6,000 square foot waterfront restaurant called Zaza. That's my nickname in Neapolitan slang. Zaza Pizzeria Napolitana and Italian Grill. I've won Top Chef Palm Beach County. My pizzas have been awarded Best of Palm Beach County. I'm a master at the art of authentic wood-fire pizza. My pizzas have also earned the seal of authenticity from the Associazione Verace Pizza Napolitana. You don't have to repeat that. In Naples, Italy. Basically, the AVPN is an association like many in Italy that preserve the old way of doing things. My pizza is very healthy. To be part of the Associazione Verace Pizza Napolitana, you have to cook pizzas in a brick oven made from brick and mortar from Mount Vesuvius, which I bring the ovens in from Italy. There's a special dough mixer. We use the best ingredients like 00 flour, first cold pressed extra virgin olive oil, San Marzano tomatoes, which are very special. So it's a very special pizza, and it's a very big part of a $40 billion a year business in America, which is the pizza business. I also am a chef. I am an expert in the Southern Italian style of cooking. I am proud to be to have been raised in that style of cooking. It's very healthy. The basis of our cooking is all very, very ingredient driven. I know it's a new trend in America. In Italy, they've been doing it for thousands of years, but we're very, it's very great, real good ingredients. We do very little to it. And my interest is in both locations on Ocean Avenue. The first location being the, oh, by the way, I'm also a consultant. I've consulted with Big City Group. It's a, they own about 16 restaurants here in Florida. My latest project with them is a $5 million restaurant in Las Olas. I'm presently consulting with Tap 42. They're opening a new location in Boca Raton. Their location in Oakland Park does about $7 million a year. My location in Sugarloaf Key, we did over $2.5 million the first year. We projected 1.2, and we had over 200 covers a day, which equates to roughly 6,000 people a day. I'm sorry, a month coming through our restaurant. My plan for the two locations is to stick with what I know. The first location being the Little Cottage. My plan for that is a flex casual. I would be focusing on authentic wood fire pizza. We also do now at Mastino and Delray Beach a free range rotisserie chicken. We do brick oven panini, farm salads, handmade gelato, cappuccino, espresso. The second location at 211, I envision more of an open kitchen Mediterranean grill. By the way, I don't know about other businesses, but getting good eateries in a new and up-and-coming urban area is extremely important to bring people in, to bring more businesses in, and not because I'm in the restaurant business, but most places that develop a new area are looking for established restaurateurs to come in and break open the market. So with that said, I also own the Wood Fire Pizza Culinary Academy. I plan on having a school. I run a school right now in Delray Beach. I have different levels of classes. I have a 2-hour fun class for home pizza making. I do a 4-hour class, and then I do a 50-hour chef certification course for aspiring wood fire pizza chefs. We also, my plan on 211 is also to have culinary workshops and culinary classes, wine pairings, beer pairings. By the way, these gentlemen here, they're into the craft beer business. That's a huge, huge business. I plan on having craft beer. And as I said, my kids I have 3 little kids. My wife and I, we came to Boynton Beach 10 years ago. I've had restaurants in 3 different countries. And I plan on either doing some locations with you guys. If I don't get chosen, I'm still going to stick to East Delray Beach. But I also am willing to purchase both locations and develop both. One is already pretty much developed. We probably need a little extra room. On 211, as I said, I would be willing to purchase both and develop both locations.
Okay. Do you have a liquor license?
Yes.
Yes. Full liquor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what kind of financial help would you be looking for?
Listen, I'll take whatever you guys have. I don't need it, but if it's available, we'll take it.
Well, we have. Well. The reason I asked that question, we do have a lot of different things in CRA as far as build out things and stuff like that. So you understand that, we
yes.
do have that kind of help available for build out and expansion and stuff.
I think that's great, and I obviously will take advantage.
Pursue is the word.
I will pursue and.
Yeah.
But my goal, I love a challenge. When I opened in Sugarloaf Key, there were a lot of naysayers. We were 18 miles outside of Key West. We're basically in no man's land. We were 25 miles from Marathon, and not a dense population there. Key West has about 25,000 permanent residents. Marathon has about 10, and we had a 2-hour wait to get in every Friday and Saturday night. And
my last question would be, you talked about both locations. You'd be interested in both locations,
yes,
right?
Sir.
And the little house, you were talking pizza. 211, is that pizza too, or?
No, 211 would be a Mediterranean grill.
Okay, so it'd be a different restaurant.
It would be a little more of a full-scale restaurant,
right.
With an open kitchen. outdoor and indoor seating, and I would like to have music there if it's
Okay.
allowed, outdoor music.
Thank you. McCray.
Question, did you turn in a business plan?
I turned in this right here.
Where's the pizza?
This is basically all my credentials, and I guess you haven't seen it, but it looks on your face. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I could get you a business plan. We have a team of very competent people that will
Thank you.
be glad to put together.
Costello.
Can I call you Sal? Is that good?
Absolutely.
Okay, Sal the pizza man. Sal, on your spreadsheet here, it says that evidence of financial capacity to do all what we just talked about. Have you got that in some type of plan? You say you'd be willing to purchase both, but doesn't give us any particulars on how you would go about doing that.
Well, I wasn't sure. This is the first time I've ever been in a process like this, so I would be glad to give you guys whatever you need.
Well, that's important that we have that because that's going to count, towards our vote.
Yes, and I want to also let you know our group is all local. Myself and my team, we're all local investors, and actually 2 of them are right here from Gulfstream. But I'd be glad to spell it all out if and when this is an opportunity for us. And again, I want to emphasize, I'm very interested in purchasing. That was one of the things that made it very attractive to me.
Okay.
I've had bad experiences with landlords. And
I guess before we vote, one way or the other for you, is that you got to show us that, I'm interested in buying it and I have the money to do that.
Absolutely.
Instead
No
of,
problem.
giving you the contract and then we'll worry about the financing.
Questions down here?
Money talks and,
Pardon me?
no, there's this expression, money
any other
talks and
questions?
walks.
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
Thank
I
you.
know what you mean.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good old days.
Thanks.
Is this another proposal?
Y'all have a business plan? Because
I submitted the checklist. I didn't submit a full business plan. I saw the checklist that was required.
You're over 4.
This was a very interesting first meeting for me as well. I'll say that. My name is Chris Montelius. I am a citizen of Boynton Beach. Was born in Bethesda and grew up in this area, so I've been around for a long time. I'm currently employed with Brown Distributing Company. I'm South Florida local brand manager, so I work with all of our local breweries. I'm very familiar with Due South and Saltwater, Funky Buddha, all the other ones, and I really understand that business very well. And I'm looking to do something similar but a little bit different because there's already a few breweries opening up, and I do, based on what I heard earlier, I do think that the Three Horns thing would be much better at 211 rather than 480 just because of the size. And I know these guys. I know all the guys in the brewing business, and I think our project could complement what they are doing as well if you wanted to create that kind of scene on Ocean. Long story short, what I'm looking to do, I'm looking to open up a kombuchery, which is kombucha is a fermented tea. It's similar to the process of brewing beer, but it's more of a health and probiotic beverage. It does have some alcohol content because it is fermented, but it is very low alcohol. Whole Foods sells a ton of it. If you go into any Whole Foods store right now, they have an 8-foot section dedicated to it. It's projected to be a $500 million business this year. I saw the trend.
Excuse me, say that name again so I can, because I'm the oldest thing up and I didn't hear you. What is it?
It's called kombucha, Kombucha.
Thank you.
It is a fermented sweet tea. Typically between 1% and 2% alcohol. I'm planning on getting some that are up a little bit higher so that they can compete in the bar world where I can get something that's 3 or 4% alcohol that someone will pay for. But I think that I can do a good business on that.
And that's legal tea.
Yes.
Legal, okay.
It's black or green tea. My plan is to do a brew pub, similar to what Three Horns did, but it does not require an extra building because the fermenters that I'm going to be using are very small. I can actually fit them up in the loft area in the little house. It's something that I can take them down. I can work on it during the day, and then at night they can be put away. And the plan is not just to have this kombuchery, but to supplement that to have a full restaurant out of there as well. And I brought my chef Alex, who can talk about his expertise there and how we can convert this into a restaurant brew pub
So you're interested in the 480 location?
480 only, not 211.
And to lease or to buy?
I would actually be open to both as well, depending on the
Okay.
price. But
Okay.
my initial plan was based on lease because I didn't see the option to buy when I was first looking.
Good so.
On the alcohol content, are you required to have a liquor license with that amount of alcohol
Not a liquor license. I'm actually looking for a brew pub license. It's a manufacturing license for brew on premise, consume on premise.
Do you have one of those in your?
I can't get one until I have a lease. You need to have a lease in order to apply for it with the state.
Okay.
It's a federal license with the TTB, and you need to have your lease before you can apply for that.
Where's the closest type of business that you're talking about here?
Actually, there's one that just opened up in Palm Beach Gardens. One kombucha. It's a small. They have a few taps. It's mainly people come in there and you can sample it on site, and they do some growlers and bottles to go, things like that. What I would be looking to produce there is going to be for consumption on premise there. I have another facility actually in West Palm that I do production for distribution, but really the distribution game, and I know distribution because my day job is with Brown Distributing. The distribution game is you have to have a lot of volume in order to make any money off of that. And really, when I said kombucha, no one up here knew what I was talking about. So I'm trying to raise awareness of kombucha by putting this brick and mortar restaurant and brew pub so I can get that out more in the open and show people how kombucha can fit into their lives.
Would you need a large space for trucks, delivery, and all that kind of stuff?
No. My production facility for distribution is currently out of West Palm, and I'd like to maybe move that to Boynton because I live here, but I just took a spot that I could get into easily, and I'm looking for something that's going to be more a restaurant, and that's really during the day I will do some small brewing on site so that I can be true to a brew pub and have stuff that was brewed there and meant for consumption there. But we're talking about doing a full dinner service restaurant because I know that you guys are looking for that nightlife aspect. So we're going to have craft beer, we're going to have wine, we're going to have kombucha, we're going to have a restaurant. And it's really just about bringing awareness to the kombucha, but also offering exactly what you guys are looking for in that nightlife arena as well.
Is 211 an option to you at all?
No. And I'd like to introduce my chef as well, Alex.
What is you gonna be cooking? It could,
all sorts of stuff, man. My name's Alex Bustamante. I'm a chef. I currently work for the Breakers Hotel, if you guys have ever heard of that. I'm a chef there at HMF, their newest cutting-edge restaurant. Anyway, so I'm a chef, I'm a husband, I'm a father. Same with this guy, he's not a chef, but we sort of met through our wives and began exchanging ideas about what we like, started spending a lot of time together cooking. He would be creating all these different beverages, and so we started our bond that way. We came into this project. I've been cooking for a lot of other people for a very long time, and I am really attracted to the opportunity to venture out and start my own thing. The Little House spot is probably the perfect size for a venture to start doing that. I'm used to doing 350 covers on a busy night. That's 350 people's complete meal, so everything they eat, so it's very high volume. So what we would be doing out of this space, we would obviously need to put some work into creating a kitchen, as there really isn't anything. The previous tenant had microwaves and a George Foreman grill in there, which is absolutely not what I would be interested in doing. Primarily, we'd be open for lunch and dinner. Lunch would be sort of a very, bright atmosphere. We'd be doing really great coffee. I'm very good friends with a local roaster who roasts coffee in Riviera Beach, Florida. That's the coffee we would serve. We'd be doing beautiful juices, some toasted sandwiches, nice salads, soups of that nature, sort of light. We're sort of not exactly sure how the lunch daytime vibe would go, but that's sort of our concept. Dinner time, we're looking for like a very intimate atmosphere. The central focal point of that little house would be building in a wood-fired oven, not exclusively for pizza. I have a builder lined up and a consultant for that to put it in. that would be initial. That is what would be the focal point of all the kitchen. Primarily, all of the dishes out of the kitchen would be coming in and out of that via, multiple stations. Just to explain, I went in, I saw the space. I cook every day. I cook on the line. I've opened restaurants. I've built kitchens. I've built a kitchen where there was nothing except a hole in the ground. So I know what it takes to make that space work, to be able to produce for the amount of seats that it's coded for. And I think it's a really special spot, and having a unique restaurant experience in the Boynton area, I think, is something that is completely lacking, and that I would really, really love and put all my energy into opening. So
we're going to have kombucha tea and American cuisine.
It's not going to be exclusive to American cuisine.
What I'm getting scared.
Actually, by ethnicity, I'm Cuban. Okay. That's not to say I'm going to cook Cuban food, but I'm obsessed with sort of all aspects of food. It's not going to be limited to any sort of type of cuisine. What we will be doing exclusively is sourcing primarily all of our ingredients from Palm Beach County, let alone Boynton. This is a copy of the Food and Farm magazine.
Stop right there. No crazy mushrooms. That's what I'm getting.
No
at.
crazy mushrooms, sir.
Okay,
No.
okay.
This is a beautiful piece of information, because this lists every local farm in Palm Beach County and markets and green markets and all that such. Just on the first page, there's 5 in Boynton alone. Everything from fresh milk to eggs, tropical fruits. That's been my life for the past 5 years. I grow my own vegetables in my house. My entire family is obsessed with the tropical fruit scene here in South Florida. So needless to say, we love healthy eating. We love fresh food. It does not have to be designated to a specific, type of cuisine. We would be focusing on small plates, sort of a, in the sort of brew pub, cocktail style. So obviously we'll be doing beer and wine, a lot of small plates, and possibly some larger, more family style options. The idea just to have a guest come in and be able to experience, several different types of dishes that they probably wouldn't maybe see together in one restaurant, and everybody is sharing and have a really strong community of guests in the space.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I noticed when you walk in, you brought some of that kombucha in. You got samples?
I have some, if you
Are
guys
you
would
gonna
like to
share
try
it,
it.
or-
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I have cups, too, if you're interested in trying
Just
it.
one thought I had is, and I've been to Little House before, and when you're talking a restaurant, I think in order to be successful, you've got to have numbers, people coming and eating. And I've been in there, and there's like 4 tables, and if you got 4 tables and you walk in, there's no place to sit, you leave, because how do you, I'm sure you probably thought about that, the space is small. How are you going to make that profitable with such a small space?
It's tight, but there's a lot of seating. If you include the outdoor area as well, I think that there's definitely enough space, and we're going to offset that. It's not just going to be the restaurant, because we're going to have the kombucha, the beer, the wine. I've looked at the numbers, and I think that it's definitely successful, or able to be successful.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. I think that was, do we have the man that wanted to buy both places?
Mr. Kaplan.
Kaplan? Yeah, you want to come up and give us your pitch?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a business plan, right?
Sir, I do not have a business plan.
Okay, but you want to buy.
Pardon me? Because our plan is pretty simple. We are, I've been sitting here for several hours.
Speak into the mic, please. Pull it down
There
to
you go.
Is that okay?
Yeah, they need to record you.
We've been sitting here for several hours listening to some folks with some great ideas. What became clear to me is that the 2 pages of notes that I had to present to you, really, we find ourselves as developers somewhat in the position that you gentlemen are today, ladies and gentlemen, are today, and that's, we're developers. My name is Bruce Kaplan. I am the Chief Financial Officer of the local development company. We have been in
Speak into the mic.
Need to get you, stay by the mic, we
Yeah,
can't
stay
hear you.
by the mic.
When the light-
It don't
when the light's
bite.
on.
Yeah, there you go.
Spent some time in federal court, had the same problem. Fortunately, as an expert witness. We've been in business a long time. We have offices in Philadelphia. We have a branch office here in Gulfstream. We acquire large properties. Our most recent acquisition is 1314 North Federal Highway. That acquisition was closed last week for $2 million, and I'm proud to say without the requirement of a mortgage, just invested capital. We currently have and maintain over 20 properties that are under our control. We have successfully developed in our combined, when I talk about combined, I'm talking about all the professionals that are in our company, probably 130 years of experience in commercial real estate. We have developed in excess of 100 properties. We have bought and sold 234 properties in the last 2 years. Our staff and our folks who are both members and investors are some of the most successful people in real estate that you could possibly think of. They include attorneys. They include not only myself, but outside other accounting professionals. As a matter of fact, one of the members who's both an investor and a member of our firm is Stephen Hankin. Stephen Hankin is a partner in Hankin, Sandman, Palladino, which is a very, very well-noted commercial real estate law firm. He also publishes for the law journals as well for areas of commercial real estate. I can spend a whole lot of time talking about what other folks have talked about and their ideas. I really sit on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
I want to buy it. I don't want you to give me anything. We're not here to ask you to give us anything. We're here because we like the properties and we believe that we could acquire them, develop them. Our philosophy, and I'm proud to say our philosophy has always been that when we come into a community, we develop, we enhance property values, and most importantly, we enhance the community. I am proud to say I have personally been in this business for 32 years. I have done nothing but this. We have never walked away from a project. We have never gone into bankruptcy. We have never lost a project, and we have never failed to finish a project. What I was somewhat, not surprised, but yeah, surprised, that's the right word, to see tonight was folks coming to a community board to sell ideas that they had. In my 32 years, that's our job. We acquire the properties, we invest the capital, we put the money out, we ask for nothing, and we determine, based on our years of experience, who's going to be the most successful there. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have about our firm.
What I understand, let me make sure, you're interested in buying both properties, right?
Correct.
Owning them both. And then you would go ahead and work with, at this point, we had like 5 proposers. You'd be willing to work with those to try and see if some of them would like to come in and work and bring them into those properties, possibly?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. That is what we do.
Okay.
And
what about as far as, there's, like we said, 211 needs work. Would you take that on?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you'd own them outright, then you would take it on. Then you would be the landlord with these people and bring them in. And how quickly do you work? In other words, once you own those properties, how long are they going to sit there before we get some people in there and get some working going?
That's really 2 questions, if I may, sir. In most cases, we develop, improve, create the tenant, do all the TI fit out, have a successful tenant in place, and then market the property and resell it. In some cases, we do not. In some cases, we hold on to it. So it's a blend. It's a blend of both. However, through our years of experience and our somewhat extensive experience, particularly in the restaurant business. There would not be a day in which they were not occupied once the improvements were done. We have and we would in the future, and in this case, if necessary, occupy it, run it ourselves, so that there would never be a day of missed rent. As far as timing goes, pardon the colloquialism, but I can write you a check tomorrow.
You would be willing to, if you was to pick one of these people and they wanted to buy it, you'd be willing to work with them.
Absolutely.
To purchase it from you.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely. We are not nonprofit. We're in business to make money.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to bring up a point, and obviously it's not personal what I'm going to say, because we don't know one another. In our city right now, we have a person that buys land, and we've been waiting forever for him to develop it. Why? Because he wants his price. Now, I heard you say as a sidebar, your business is also, your business, quote unquote, is the restaurant business. In other words, you buy land for restaurants, or you buy land for multiple reasons?
We buy land for multiple reasons.
Okay, that's my concern.
May I expand?
Please.
The two primary principles there, they are older gentlemen that have been in this business for a long time, love the restaurant business. That's why we have operated them. I would not operate a bed and breakfast. I would not operate a guitar store. We wouldn't have that expertise. But we do, within our wealth of knowledge, have the expertise to run a restaurant.
What I'm really hearing, and I'm debating you, your concern is putting your own restaurants in. You're opening the door by saying you bring others in, but because of your expertise and what you've done, is you're really going to wind up putting your own restaurants in. And I'm not saying that's bad, but that's what I'm really hearing.
Sir, if I gave you that impression, I sincerely apologize. That is not.
No, it's not that it's bad.
I think it is bad, because our focus is not to run a restaurant per se. Our focus is to develop and enhance properties.
And make a buck.
Of course.
Okay, but that's my point. The point is, how fast does it turn over?
Now, our intention is not to operate a restaurant ourselves. If necessary, rather than have a property vacant, we have the capability of doing it. But if we are acceptable to you, we would immediately begin marketing this to all kinds of tenants, including a couple of the ideas I like here today very, very much.
Questions?
I just got you say you've got control of 20 properties. Are they in this general vicinity?
There are some here. I do have.
You just name a couple. You don't have to.
Well, 1314 Federal Highway.
Okay, so you're a venture capitalist. Is that a correct?
Commercial real estate. We develop.
Okay.
We develop.
So you acquire properties, fix them up, get a business in there, and flip them.
Right.
To a great extent, yes. Okay. That's accurate.
And your expertise is more in the opening restaurants. So my question is that we had a music, we had a pizza guy, we had a brewery, we had a bread and breakfast. Would you be open to these people who came before us today with some of their ideas?
I hate people that say, to be honest, because that means that other times they're not honest. I'll use the word frank instead. Some of the ideas I heard here today, yes, I would absolutely entertain them. However, if I were the chief financial officer of the entity that acquires these properties, I probably would not think that some of the ideas presented today would be tremendously successful. People who have been in business never, people who have been in business for 2 years, people that have been in business for 2 months. We have a higher standard when we invest a lot of money, a lot of investor money into a property. We want to see it successful. We want to see them successful. I'm very tired, so please forgive me. But we're not big on harebrained ideas. We're quick, inexperienced people. And it has nothing to do with whether it be restaurant or any other industry. We have sold, improved, and leased to just every possible type of industry.
So, Mr. Kaplan, so if you were to buy these properties, like using 211 for an example there, and your idea, your company's to put a restaurant in there, you're going to bring that building up to code at your expense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I did hear tonight, and I had heard before I jumped on a plane and came down here, that the intention of the board was to create volume of traffic, was to create the restaurant environment, the upscale restaurant environment that does create traffic and does create revenue. And I happen to think after looking at the properties this afternoon, I happen to agree with them.
Thank you.
Hey?
Yes, sir.
Can you give us a track record, timeline-wise, between the time you purchase the property, fix it up, the minimum time to get a business in there going, and the maximum time that you had it sit there and wait to get a tenant?
Sir, I can't, to some degree, we are at the mercy of engineers, permitting, that type of thing.
We're pretty quick in Boynton.
Okay. We're pretty quick in Philadelphia, too. As a matter of fact, our nickname is Shovel Ready. What we do is we take land that had been sitting for some period of time and acquire it at a favorable price. And our specific area of expertise, and I think this addresses your question as well, our specific area of expertise isn't pizza parlors or restaurants or anything else. Our particular area of expertise is permitting, zoning, engineering, and design, which allows a construction company to pick from 10 different architectural designs that we invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in and hundreds of hours of time in permitting and zoning and community group approvals, and say, pay us today and start digging tomorrow. That's what we do.
The concern that I have is that we have a downtown master plan, CRA board. And my concern is that your idea would it fit into what we're trying to accomplish on Ocean Avenue and our downtown master plan? Or you just have the free to do whatever you want to?
Don't have freedom of anything. Your board and your planning board determines what we do. We move. We have capital, we have money, we have expertise. We move quickly. However, it is not our place to determine what your needs, wants, and desires are. That's determined. I mean, I'm using Philadelphia as an example, which is where I come from. It's determined. It starts at the local level with the community associations, and then the zoning board, and then the planning board, and then variances if required.
For the records.
Thank you, sir. I beg your pardon.
Thank you. This is for. You said you just purchased 1314 North Federal Highway. Can somebody tell me what that is, please?
Del Rey, isn't it?
Yes, it's in Del Rey. Pardon me. It is.
Oh, because I thought you said Boynton. Well, you said Del Rey, but don't tell me then. You're not okay. Don't tell me.
Don't worry about it. Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Any other questions?
Mr. Kaplan, how long do you usually hold on to a property once you've renovated and got it up and running?
That's what I just said.
Frankly, for as long as it is profitable and the tenant is making money, if the tenant wishes to come forward and make a purchase, we will sell it. Otherwise, we will hold on to it. We do both. And we do both, I would say, almost equally.
Excuse me, what is on the property you said in Del Rey? I didn't hear.
It's right now it is vacant land.
I'm sorry?
Vacant land, sir.
And you have it how long?
We settled on it. We settled on it last Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So may I add one thing, which I believe addresses this gentleman's question? Before we closed on it, we had spent over $200,000 in engineering and design work before we bought it so that we could move quickly. That is what we do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The broker like some final comments? Did you want to make any more comments, our broker? He said you might want to come back after.
Ladies, gentlemen, thanks tonight for your time and listening to all the proposals. I just wanted to clear up a few things. when you had said about the proposals and about the business plans and things, we got things in sketchy, meaning we got them in at different times from different groups. We tried to have everybody fill out the appropriate application forms that you requested. There were also different streams that came in at different times, and people that had made proposals, like the bed and breakfast people, had already proposed before we were in the mix. So I didn't want there to be any confusion. I don't want anybody to feel left out. We turned over everything that we were given for you to review. That being said, the reason I think you hired our company was to give you a real highest and best use for what you're trying to do. I'm not pulling rank and I'm not going out, but I can tell you this. Our firm has brokered over 450 restaurants in Florida, South Florida, over the last dozen years to 15 years. We created, and I was on the I was advising the parking committee in Delray. I've been on Las Olas and done the biggest deals, the restaurant deals on Las Olas. I've done the 36 of the 40 restaurants in Delray over the last 15 years. The reason I'm here and the reason I took this on was to really help Boynton Beach and to create something up here that I think is special. I've got a lot of friends in the business up here, the guys that own Two Georges and Banana Boat and Ocean Prime, all friends and clients of mine. I want to do, and we want to do what's best for Boynton. I want to say that I'm available for anything you need or any input, again, as long as you need it for. We want to come to a great conclusion to these properties. I don't want anybody to feel excluded. I don't want them to think, that we're against them. I just have a fiduciary obligation to you. You're my client right now, and I need to try to impress upon you and try to guide you along the right course that I believe is right. I'm not saying I'm right all the time. Most of the time, I tell my wife, 99.9% of the time I'm right. I made a mistake in 1973. I turned left instead of right. But I will say this. I'm trying to do and guide you to do the best thing there is. I don't want to see you go into no-money deals and then expend hundreds of thousands of dollars to put somebody into business. I'd like to see you thrive the other way, where you can get somebody to work with tenants who are professionals and get the kind of clients you want in there. And that's the overview of tonight. Like I say, I'm at your service. We did this to be part of Boynton and to get into Boynton Beach to create something special here. So that being said, if you have any other questions for me,
No, I would just like to tell the board that this is really important, this decision we're going to make here, because this could be the biggest thing we ever did on Ocean Avenue here. And I want to make sure that everybody feels like they got a fair shot here and got a good shake, and we listen to everybody. So I would propose, in fact, tonight was the first time I heard about the music place. So what I would like to suggest is that, and everybody said they had submitted things to you, binders and things like that, and a lot of us not have seen them. So I'd like to suggest that each of us be given a copy of everything you've received, and that I've heard a lot of good ideas here. I'm impressed with several of them, and I would like to maybe, to use the term, sleep on it, and maybe come back at the next board meeting before we make a final decision. Give us a chance to really look at these things that people wrote down and digest it, and then come back and make a final decision at the next meeting, if that's okay with the rest of the board.
I'd just like to make one comment.
Are you going to be at the next meeting? Because I personally would like you there.
Yeah, I'll be at the next meeting.
Yeah.
And I want the
I
bed
have
and
20
breakfast.
questions already.
Okay, I want the bed and breakfast people to get their money back on those stickers, because it's 221 they had on it, it's 211. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
That's all right. They was beautiful. I don't
They were
care.
beautiful.
Read them anyway.
I just would like to express my comment here about the whole thing. You've done an outstanding job, and I really appreciate it. But for me, I don't know how the rest of the board feel. I'm not interested in being a landlord. I would look for someone that's going to buy the building outright. I don't feel we need to be in the landlord business. Okay, our staff at CRA, the plate runneth over. And to go in that direction, I think, would be a mistake for this board. That's just my opinion. So I just wanted you to know that. But we're going to get those and study them. But my desire is not to look very favorable at those who want us to lease and all that kind of crazy stuff.
Yes.
I agree with Mr. Hay there. What I want to see is someone who's got the money, put up or shut up, close the deal, has the experience, not investing in the sense of investing. A person who has the money can buy it. Here's your check. Not concerned what the CRA says or not. We're on the same page. And put the shovel in the ground, and it's done. A couple of the people here sounded like that tonight. And the only question I have with the factor of investment is the fact that talk is cheap. Once you own something, like we have one landowner already, we're still waiting X amount of years for him to put the first shovel in the ground. So the people I've heard tonight who have the money and who can talk the walk are the ones that I think we should consider the most.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I don't feel like we should be in the landlord business, but I disagree with Commissioner Merkel. I feel like you should be able to put up and continue to talk, okay? Not shut up. Keep talking, because I want to listen. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so that's the board okay with Fitzpatrick? Yeah.
I agree with some of those comments, but I was impressed with a lot of the great ideas tonight, and I think we should, somewhere down the road, start looking at like an incubator program or something, because if we got half of these ideas that come to Boynton, that would be a big boost for Boynton. So that's something I'm seriously thinking we should work on.
I was very impressed with all of these young entrepreneurs in our city. I think that's pretty
That's what I'm saying.
exciting.
Yeah. I think that's exciting, and you should be applauded for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very
And if it's not this project, hopefully, there's some place here in Boynton Beach that we can do some business.
cool. We have grants for you guys to help you find space, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we got the direction you need there about the next meeting?
Yes, I will.
We don't need to make a motion, just a
Start making
direction.
copies.
That's all you needed, consideration.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate all of
Thank
you.
you. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks for
Thank
taking
you,
the
guys.
time and bringing this forward. We'll make a decision next meeting. Okay, item B would be, C is consideration.
Second Tuesday of the month.
Second Tuesday of the month, yeah.
Each month.
Yeah. Consideration of response to invitation to bid for the Ocean Avenue lighting project.
Good evening, Board Chair and Board members. Mike Simon, Assistant Director of the CRA. The item before you this evening is the consideration of responses to the invitation to bid issued for the East Ocean Avenue lighting project. The Board had set aside funding in both the 2013 and 14-15 budgets for the design and construction of new street and tree lighting enhancements along East Ocean Avenue between Seacrest and Federal Highway.
Mike, talk a little louder, please.
Yes, sir. These additions include 8 new streetlight poles, 64 uplights and tree lights on Ocean Avenue, the Civic Center and Dewey Park trees, 32 tree gates. It's a fairly large project on both sides of East Ocean Avenue. Our design firm, Kimley Horn and Associates, assisted the CRA in the design of this project, and it has been permitted, approved, and permits paid for by the CRA within the city now. The CRA approved issuing an RFP, or invitation to bid, on the 13th of January, with a deadline for those responses on the 24th of February. As of the date of the submission deadline, we received 3 responses from contracting firms, Bryan Construction Incorporated, West Construction Inc., and the Collage Companies. After CRA staff review, the consultant engineering firm's review, and legal review, it has been determined that Bryan Construction is the lowest responsible bidder for the East Ocean Avenue lighting enhancement project. The amount of their bid proposal is $349,906.25, which at this moment exceeds the anticipated amount for design and construction that was theorized and put in place in those budgets.
It was $349,906. We got $349,907.
I got
15%.
906.25.
906.
906.25.
Okay, well,
If there's
the
any,
thing that
if
you're-
there's any rounding up, Commissioner, it's in the line item
I
for the
see up there.
finance.
Okay, you rounded it up.
So,
Go.
so having said that, the CRA CRA staff and legal after review, again, in the best interest of the CRA, to go with Bryan Construction, our recommendation is to have staff sit down, given the fact that the project came in over the cost that we had allowed for, and see if we can go through and find items of construction that may, products or what have you, that may be able to be replaced. If not, we'll come back with those. If there are, the results of those will be given to you at the next meeting, and we can decide a course of action financially and fiscally from there.
Yes, well, I'm in total agreement with that. You know, it's way over budget. We have budget for that, so I would be open to letting you go back and sit down and either bring this in budget or see if there's some things maybe we can cut out whatever we're doing there somehow to bring it down to our budget amount, and otherwise we'll have to start over.
If I can follow up with that, Board Chair, the contractor is very consistent within the pricing of their bids. So this is not a case of an out of a whack response. The detail of the construction drawings and the products that were selected by the design firm were the ones that were bid on. So I think that the project as designed is a fabulous project. Our anticipation of cost during the budget. So I want to make sure that it's seen as a responsible bid by the contractors. That I think we've really gone after the
I'm
Cadillac.
not questioning that.
I know,
Maybe we
but I
went
wanted
to
for
the
the
highest,
record.
the highest end of stuff. We might have to
Yes, sir, of
be
course.
happy with a little bit less value.
I have point A, I have point B, and then Susan. Both in the signs also, it winds up being, in other words...
Well, we ain't
the
there
ci-
yet.
Well,
We're
I'm
going
not
to talk
finished.
about that next.
Would you let me say my statement? I'm combining it and making it simple, okay? It goes like this. If you're over the top in both categories, my question is, and I think I have the answer, but it has to be confirmed by Susan. Because you were able to do what you did with the bonding, are we able to take, and I was told yes, but I want to hear from you, take some money out of there, let Mike do his homework by negotiating, but I'm saying if worse comes to worse, we can take it out of that.
Commissioner Merker, I'm sorry to tell you we can't do that.
Thank you.
Cannot.
We cannot.
Thank
no.
you.
No.
Good.
The funds that are allocated for debt service have to stay within debt service. What we can do is, we're mid-year right now, so we're looking at the budget and all our line items, seeing where how the expenses are falling out, to see if there's any possibility of reallocating some line items within the budget to meet the overages. That's one possibility.
Okay, because I don't have the answer, that's why you're there, is to get the answer, because that's my concern, is Mike is going to do the best he could to renegotiate, but if we're still over the top, what do we do? And that's my point.
Well, let me remind you, when we get our numbers, we start early for budget to get our numbers. The construction industry has just, and I think the mayor can remember what Plaza told us on construction costs. We've been a victim when we go out to bid now of those construction costs going very high. So.
And as Susan said, Vivian and I and Susan sat down and started to preliminarily look at the mid-year place with some of our other items within the budget. But I will say it again at the next meeting. These projects, this one particularly, because we're on it, are in a very good stage of new development timing within the downtown core area and within the CRA district. These enhancements are going to be online prior to doors opening at 500 Ocean. We've got Peninsula on the north end. You've got a lot of Inca support for federal highway enhancements in downtown. You're talking about 2 different restaurants on Ocean now, 2 different concepts, bed and breakfast or what have you, on Ocean. So this is, I think, an extremely important project. So I really want to lay that for you now as we take this next 30 days to think about it some more. It will be a fabulous thing to have it in place, some aspect of it, if not all of it, when 200 or 500 Ocean is open and people start funneling down.
Mike, we're going to recoup some money when we sell those grates that we're taking out, correct? I mean, that's a little...
Some offset. Meltdown, we'll melt them down.
Right, but, I mean,
Make them into
I'm just
art.
talking here.
Yes, sir.
And the material that we're going to be putting around the trees, the new material, there's different grades of that. We talked about that, Vivian. We could probably maybe downgrade some of that. Maybe we're using the Cadillac. I'm just looking at...
Absolutely, all of those things, these are
And my third
extremely
question is that
responsible
once these uplightings are in, who maintains these?
City.
The city will maintain those.
The city maintains them.
We can enter into an agreement for a very short window if the board or the staff supports that as a turnover. Statutorily, you're allowed in that case to do, but ongoing
Because
improvements.
there's nothing worse when you put something in for aesthetics and they don't, half of them are out. It looks more terrible than not having them all.
Yes, sir.
So that'd be on a regular maintenance.
City should take care of it.
Yes, sir.
The city should take care of it. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, and we've discussed with Lori some kind of turnover policies and procedures for these
Okay,
things
so we
that
have
we're
a
building.
procedure. We would have a procedure
We
in
want
place.
to,
That's all you
yes,
need.
and some kind of interlocal agreement on that as
Thank
well. Statutorily, it lets you do that.
Okay. Well, is that direction with the board? We got a budget. Make it get in there. That's what we're looking for.
Make it fit.
I don't want to get extra. I don't want to put more
You'll
money.
need to select a contractor if you so choose.
We make a motion to go ahead and negotiate with him? Is that what you need?
Yes, sir, in order to begin that process.
Okay. Is there
So moved.
Second.
a motion to go ahead and
Start that.
construct with,
Brand Construction.
what was the name of the company?
Brand.
Bang.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, there's a motion to go ahead and, what I want to say,
Yes, sir, at the
negotiate
bottom of
with
the
this,
agenda cover.
what was his name? I lost it. Here you go. Brand Construction, Inc., and come back to us with a different number. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Show the motion unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay, next one is consideration and response to invitation to bid for the entry sign project. As was mentioned here, this is almost the same thing. Lowest responsive bidder is over what we have budgeted, so I would be in favor of doing the same thing with this guy.
Second.
Well, somebody make a motion.
I make the motion.
Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Yeah,
You understand, staff understand what we're talking?
Yes, sir, you'll need.
Can you name the selected entity, please?
Name the contractor.
Yeah.
I believe it's the Collage Companies.
It's
Collage.
Collage Design and
Collage
Construction
Design.
Group, Inc. If you can negotiate with them and see if you can bring us a number back towards the budget. I have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All most, show the motion unanimous.
Next.
Consideration of response to invitation to bid the Marine Fuel Dispenser Replacement Project.
Yes, sir. The item before you this evening is the invitation to bid responses for the fuel dispenser replacement project. Again, the board has included funding for these upgrades to the dispensers and replacement of these products and services for the fuel dock in your Marina Phase 2 budget. There is funding available for that.
Right, that's in our Phase 2 of the Marina
Yes, sir.
project, so the
Yes, sir.
money's there.
Yes, sir.
Is there a motion to approve Glasgow
Second.
Equipment?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve Glasgow Equipment Service, Inc., as stated. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, show the motion unanimous.
Thank you.
G.
Item G, update the Marina Village Parking Garage Management Program.
Oh, I thought that was sorry.
And temporary parking
Yeah,
agreement
yeah, I'm gonna make you
negotiations
do that one.
for additional
That's
parking
you.
on 114 North Federal Highway. I think,
Yeah, we did that.
I believe staff is recommending, if I can get my arrow here,
Over, he's asking crazy numbers.
F does not, yes,
The
incur the
Pamela.
cost.
Board Chair, the board directed the CRA staff to begin to look at alternative parking lots for, in response to the dilemma, if you will, at Marina Village area parking garage and try to enhance some additional locations for customers and marina business personnel to park. We have reached out, as we mentioned at the last meeting, to the owner of the Bank of America site. We've put together an agreement. We met prior to this meeting with the owner of the property and his personal representative, property representative, and between the insurances, the improvements that would be required to open that as a public parking lot, I think that the amount of money that it would take would be cost prohibitive to the agency. That's the staff's position. If the CRA board felt differently, certainly we can continue those discussions.
I'd recommend, I'm in favor of dropping it all together.
I am too.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
So
Motion to
moved.
drop.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second to discontinue any conversation.
Okay,
All in
thank you.
favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Show the motion passes 6 to 1. 5 to 1.
5 to 1.
No one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Takes us to new business. A conditional, consider employment position reclassification. There was a place we want to move from part-time to full-time.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Right now, this position is a 30-hour per week with no benefits, and I would like to take it at this time to a 40-hour with benefits, and because I moved Christopher Burdick into the position above at a lower salary, there's money to make it budget neutral. So we are becoming very busy. There's a lot, like I said, a lot of retail action happening. We're having a lot of walk-ins in the office, a lot of action, and we need some bodies. And an extra 10 hours doesn't seem like a lot, but it could help us a lot.
Is there a motion to approve the
So
reclassification?
moved. Second.
Motion
Thank
is
you.
second. Any other discussion?
Nope.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Show the motion unanimous. Consideration of purchase agreement between Terry A. Weeks and Margaret M. Weeks as co-trustees of Terry A. and Margaret M. Weeks Revocable Living Trust in the amount of $15,000 for property located on Northwest 10th Avenue for the Model Block Project. Is there a
So
motion?
moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Show the motion unanimous. Consideration of changes to commercial facade improvement grant program. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Show the motion unanimous. Consideration of changes to commercial interior build-out assistance program. Is there
So moved.
Second.
motion second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Show the motion unanimous. Consideration of changes to commercial rent reimbursement program. Motion second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So motion unanimous. Consideration of changes to commercial construction project incentive program.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Show the motion unanimous. Discussion of Andre Robinson's HAP recipient short sale request.
Thank you, Commissioners and Mayor. This request came before us from the Realtor, Yvonne Westerman, and Mr. Robinson was the recipient of our HAP program in the amount of $50,000 to purchase his home. We have a second mortgage on his home. His home is in foreclosure, and he is requesting that he is in a program called, I think it's HAFTA, and I did look it up, and I did do a little bit of research on it, and we would be receiving some funding, but Mr. Robinson would receive $10,000 at closing for relocation fees, and our adopted short sale policy does not permit the owner to get cash at closing. And our attorneys reviewed this, and they do not recommend, they strongly advise against approval of the short sale. So now this is Mr. Robinson, and he's going to speak to you about his case.
Good evening.
First, I'd like to thank y'all for having me be up here to state my case. Me going through a short sale is not something that I wanted to do. I went through a crisis, and my fundings just wasn't up to par to maintain my mortgage. I know when I went through this process, I'm aware about the procedures dealing with the CRA and CDC. I went through the process of trying to do a modification with my house, but that was very unsuccessful. I tried numerous times and it failed. So the banks pretty much told me, based on the length of the mortgage and the debt that I accrue with my house, that they told me the best thing I need to do is try to do a short sale, or I'm facing foreclosure. about a year or two, a couple of years back, I did provide a short sale, but the CRA and CDC program did not have a short sale available. So that short sale that I provided got denied. I think prior to that, they came up with a short sale policy. I didn't find out about this until about a year ago. When I found out, I came down to the CRA and they provided me a form. I kept the CRA informed about my situation. I let them know that I'm trying to do a modification, but if I can't, a short sale or foreclosure is something that's going to be my step. So I know based on the guidelines, they say they want to be, if anything was happening with the property, they want to be the first to be knowledge of it. Maybe they might want to buy it back or have another buyer that's qualified within the program to purchase the house. So I have followed the guidelines that they required. And I have kept them informed. I required a new realtor that the bank asked me to and the CRA asked me to when they knew I was going through a short sale, and we provided all the documents needed. Now going through this process, me personally, I did not have any knowledge dealing with the federal foreclosure, with the money that's going to be provided to me. I didn't have any knowledge of it, but since it came about, truly, I can greatly use it. I'm being relocated. Where? I don't know just yet. I'm still in the process. I got my house filled with boxes. I'm packing up as we go. I do have a deadline, which is coming up very soon. But with this money that they're willing to give me, and it's not given by the city, it's given by the bank, and it's their policy that, which they state based on what I'm going through, they determine that I qualify for it. It's not something that I went out and fill out some paperwork to. They decided that I qualify for it. So if they say I'm entitled to it, I'm more than willing to accept, because it definitely can help me and also my kids that I have with me to go into probably trying to find another apartment to move into until I build my credit back up to purchase another house. Like I say, going through this here, it's a big crisis on me, because I didn't buy a house for my family to all of a sudden come to a point in which I got to lose it. So it's a big burden on my behalf and my family. And right now I'm just trying to come to a closure, because everything is coming. I do not want to go through a foreclosure, but if I have to, that's what I will do. And going through a foreclosure, I will have to file for bankruptcy. I know I'm entitled to some debt. That's the CRA and the bank is going to require me to pay back, but right now I don't have it. I went through a crisis with the city. I've been employed almost 18 years, but hey, we're not getting the raises, and they took away all my overtime, so my annual income is not the same as it was when I was income certified through the city. They base my income for what I qualify for mortgage based off overtime. That was taken away. As you can see now, we just not got a 2% raise over 5 years. So yes, I have taken a bite along with a lot of other people. I'm not here looking for any sympathy. I'm just trying to go through this process to try to not damage my credentials that I have as going through a foreclosure. But that's my last resort. The bank finally see eye to eye with me to grant me a short sale, and that's something that I really want to do. Going through a foreclosure will hurt me more and prevent me for providing my family with a house down the line longer than it would take going through a short sale. So I don't know how y'all feel about the process, but I'm here to ask for y'all approval to approve this short sale so I can move on.
You're currently employed?
Yes, sir. I'm employed with the city. I work in utilities.
Employed with the city?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a utility location specialist.
Okay. And I guess a couple things come to mind from my mind. First of all, I don't know why the bank would have, when you got approved for the loan, would have considered overtime, because overtime's not a given. That's extra. Once in a while you get overtime. That's not something you're going to count on forever.
Well,
Your base pay.
Only thing the bank seen was exactly what my
Your income,
was.
they didn't know part of it was overtime. You didn't tell them that, so
Exactly.
they wouldn't have thought of that. The other thing is they're talking $10,000 for relocation. I assume you're not going to move out of the city if you're working here.
No, sir.
I can't imagine why it would cost $10,000 to relocate someplace in the city. I think if I had to move my house someplace else, it wouldn't cost me $10,000. And not only that, but we have a policy that forbids us to agree to short sales if that's the policy is written in there, and our attorneys are advising us to absolutely not go that route. So that's where I'm at on it. So, McCray.
Chair, thank you. The policy for short sales, this for hardships only, and I'm just trying to find out, sir, from you, Mr. Robinson, where is the hardship? I'm just saying, you're trying to, but where is the hardship? What is your hardship? That's what I need to know.
My hardship was I cannot afford the mortgage that I agreed to upon the house.
Okay, sir, how long have you lived in the house?
Since 08.
08, and all of a sudden now you cannot afford to continue with the mortgage. How much is your mortgage payment? You know, because this is
my mortgage payment was $1,350 a month.
$1,350, and Mrs. Brooks, how much money did we give them? You know, towards the sale, $50,000.
$50,000.
Okay, we gave you $50,000, and here you want us to give you another $10,000 relocation fee. That's $60,000. You know, my whole take is if you give me back my $50,000, I can give you $10,000. I'm not trying to be funny, but you know, and the law says that we can't do it. You know, it's.
When's the last
The money
time?
is not coming from the CRA, sir.
When was the last time you made a mortgage payment?
It's coming from the city funds. I'm just saying, yes, it is coming from that. See, that's what we need to educate people for. It is money that we gave to you all. That's $50,000, sir, that came out the corpus of the CRA.
Taxpayer money.
Taxpayers' money. Oh, it is coming.
When's the last time you made a mortgage payment?
Back in 2010.
2010 was the last time you made a mortgage payment?
Yes, sir.
So you've had that mortgage money since 2010. I guess you used it because you don't have it now, so because you didn't make a mortgage payment. So I don't know. What's the board want to do?
Mr. Robinson, how old are your children?
10, 9, and 4, and I have a 21-year-old in college.
You know, my heart goes out to you, okay? But we're being advised by legal to abide by our policies and our procedures. And I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't help you, but I have to abide by the law and the procedures that we've established.
No problem.
But we need a motion to deny the short sale? What do you need? What kind of motion you need?
You need a motion
To deny
his request for a short sale.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to deny the request for a short sale. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Show the motion passes 5-1. Okay.
You need to give your name, you know.
I'm sorry.
Address.
I was asking because I know you guys had already made a decision, and I was standing there. My name is Yvonne Westerman. I am a broker with Realty Professional, and I am his agent. I just wanted to say, I did read your policy, and I did speak to Attorney Scott Haft. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to make sure I got it right. And I did directly get from PNC, the lender, an email to him from them. This is a government-regulated program. There's several types of short sales. There's a traditional and a HAFA, and HAFA is the one that he happened to be approved for. The first letter I sent you guys, he was not getting any money. However, as of January 1st and February 1st, the laws changed, and it became where he would qualify for relocation monies because we waited. We had to wait. We had to get on your agenda. And when that happened, he ended up being one of the people who qualified because the year changed about, and that's where the money came in. And I understand, said that don't know why 10,000 and the amount that I can't speak to why the government chooses to do what they do with the amount, but I do want to say that the banks, the different banks, the servicers, they sign contracts with the government. And if you look it up on hmpadmin.com, makinghomeaffordable.com, you can educate yourselves about these programs, because I understand your policy, but there's a lot more of these people coming behind. I'm out here every day, and this is a way to help people avoid foreclosure, and I understand how you guys feel about it, but there is $8,500, double the amount you are asking for, to be given. And as he just said, whether you do it or not, he's going to end up going to foreclosure, he's going to file bankruptcy. And the money that you're trying to keep him from getting, going to foreclosure, they're going to come to his home and offer him money to still move out, because that's the way they do it. And they get paid from the government. There's an incentive from the government. So this is politics. It's not personal, but that's what they've established for them to be able to move on. And rents out here are not cheap. They're much higher. It's much more expensive to rent than there is to buy right now. And that is the honest to goodness truth. So I truly do understand, but I stand here to say to any of you, while I really hate this decision because there's a lot of other people involved. There's a title company, there's 2 realtors, there's a veteran who's buying this place that's blind, that lives here locally. There's several people that are touched by this, and of course the CRA was going to get money. So none of us are going to receive anything at this point except for Mr. Robinson. But if anybody would like to speak about these programs in the future, or like me to tell them anything about it, I'd love to do that. If nothing else, to help you create a better policy and be more prepared, because I understand what you have here, but you don't have all the facts, and it's just not fair to everyone to make a decision based on not having all the facts. And that's all. I just thank you so much for giving me the time. Thank you for helping me with the name. I was struggling. So you guys have a good night. Thank you so much.
Nothing else come before the board? We stand adjourned.